Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparrows here on Roll for Chaos. How are you all out there tonight? I definitely hope well. We are in for some more piratey goodness this evening, and I'm sure we'll get to that and a recap here shortly, followed by some interesting scenes and some interesting decisions and some interesting powerful beings and some crazy pirates. We're going to go around first tonight to each one of these lovely individuals, and they've got some things to say about their co-stars tonight. And we'll start at random like we usually do. I'm going to roll a d6 and see what happens from there. Looks like we are going to Benjamin. You are first tonight, my friend. What do you have to say about people?
All right, listen up. Okay?
That's my intro. You can't do that.
Never in my 23 years of playing TTRPGs, never have I had the distinct privilege of sitting with a group who are such fantastic role players, who have unbelievable chemistry, and who ride the lightning, ride the line, skirt that sweet line between injecting roleplay into the action and injecting action into the roleplay.
That's brilliant.
It is a privilege to play with this group, and it has been nothing but a joy. Well, actually, I had something I was going to say about everyone individually, but you told me to keep it short, so I'll just PM everybody my compliments.
Just private messages and things. Well, we've got a lot to do this evening, and while I do want to share the love with everyone, I do have to say that we went a little overboard on the one that we had the other day over there on Dreams, where they all took, I think a combined total of an hour and 15 minutes to go through that. So we're not going to do that again, because we do have a show, and well, maybe some people enjoy that kind of thing. And of course, we all love each other and appreciate each other and want to share that forever. We got stuff to do, so we're going to move on over from there. Gwen, you're up next. What do you have to say about these people?
These are the best people. Nora, you are genuinely warm and welcoming, and I love every single interaction we've ever had. Jackal, you are one of the most adept people I know at so many different things. Every time we talk, I learn something new, and that is genuinely the best compliment I can give anybody. Benjamin, you played a trumpet on stream. You pulled that out and pulled it off, and dear God, man, not only what you do here, but what you do everywhere is so stellar. Kai, this second B met Leifei, I knew that they were best friends, even if B is going to lie to his face every chance he gets. And that's genuinely because you put so much of yourself into each and every one of your characters. Love it.
Absolutely.
Ty, thank you so much for bringing together this group of wonderful people and letting us get to know each other, entertain you, and entertain the chat.
Absolutely. And you know what? You all came to my game, so thank you for that. I appreciate each and every one of you. Jackal, you are up next with things to say about these wonderful people.
Right. We got a lot to do and very little time to do it, so I'll be brief. Nora, I've only known you about a short time, maybe less than a year, but from what I've gleaned from it, you're really wise and perspective individual. Listening to you talk, especially your dry wit, I find both humorous and informative. I look forward to rolling dice with you. Kai, you're something of a mystery to me as someone who likes to sit down, pick apart people psychologically, but from what I've gathered, you're a pretty chill dude, you're great to be around, and you set the tone for what it means to be reserved. I've tried following it, I'm making progress, but I'm not on your level. McSherry. Upbeat, informative, but realistic. You are the light of my Friday, even if it is a mental health day. Benjamin, I have never seen someone be as adaptive as you are, ready and willing. And the last time I saw someone pull out a musical instrument in the midst of a combat scenario, that's a story for another time, but needless to say, it got wild. I've only known you for a short time, but it's good working with you.
All right.
Kai, I don't even know where to begin. I bumped into you at the start of one of the most trying and difficult years of my life, sitting down with you and playing with you, having gotten out of one community and entered another. I gotta say, it was really refreshing as someone who's seen some messed up things as far as like people is concerned. Sitting with you, talking with you, and discussing topics, terms, and subjects that I normally don't get into. Thank you. Thank you, every last one of you, for rolling dice with me. Let's kick some ass.
Absolutely, my friend. All right, Nora, your turn.
How do I follow that? I have to say that I was super nervous to have my first like grown up like TTRPG stream, and you guys have welcomed me in with open arms, and you all bring such great energy and devotion to your characters. Jackal just dives right in. Kai really has that aloof thing going. Sherry, you're awesome. You're just awesome. And Benjamin, I cannot say enough. I really cannot. Like, you blow me away. And this guy has some amazing world building on his podcast that you guys should all go listen to. And Ty, you're genius. You came up with all of this. You keep this wagon running. I don't know what to say except thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely, and I've got you all fooled. It's fine. You know, you can believe what you want. And moving on over to Kai. Your turn, sir.
What's up? People keep taking my lines. It's strange. This whole group feels incredibly comfortable, and I don't know how proper to say it, but whenever I'm in this group, I feel at peace, and I feel like I can say anything, and comfortable saying it. I don't know what proper word there is for it, but it's sort of like family. Not the same, but it is that sort of energy. I feel comfortable with this group, and I feel like most people here are comfortable in the same way.
Absolutely. Family. You know what? Yeah, we're a family. I mean, we may be in different parts of the world, but still. And for me, I'm going to say a nice thing about each one of you as well, and then we'll get to this game tonight. So, Gwen, you are a beautiful, wonderful individual who is always engaged, who's always there, that I know I can count on, that I greatly appreciate having met you. And having you out there has been amazing. You spend so much time helping to develop this community and things like that. I cannot thank you enough. And I am grateful that you are part of this. You and Doyle both. It's amazing. Jackal, dude, you are clever, you are intelligent, you are capable, even though some of these things sometimes you struggle with seeing. And you're always there for me too. And I greatly appreciate that. And I am blessed to call you a friend of mine and to have you at my table. Nora, you're an enigma to me sometimes, and you're a beautiful spirit. And you always seem to have the right ideas in mind. And when it comes to playing your characters, I'm never quite sure what you're gonna do with them either. And that's wonderful coming from someone who is so chaotic minded all the time to begin with. I am very thankful that you joined this game and that you took that chance to come out here and be part of that, even though I think at the beginning you were like, I want to play, and then I said something, and you're like, well, maybe it's fine. Maybe I just won't. And then I'm like, no, I want to get you out here. And I'm very glad we did that. Kai, we've been playing games together technically for like almost 3 years now. And I've got to say, there is not on this planet another person that I find as cool as you.
Understandable.
So I am very glad that you joined this game, and I've been wanting to get you into A&S for a long time, since I don't play as often as I GM. This is really the only way that I get to have you on board again, since we haven't played in such a long time. And it was always a lot of fun way back in the day, doing some 5e stuff in a crazy world. Oh, I miss those first days though, man. When Bernie went down, God, oh, that hurt. Benjamin, the first time I played with you, man, oh my God, you blew me away. 119, that whole adventure, your infectious energy, that you bring like this brightness to a campaign when you're in it, and you make everybody else around you feel good just about being themselves and about the interactions and activities they take. That is really special and something that I cannot get enough, and I love having you in the games, and I want to see you in everything you do, even though I don't have enough time to do that. I try. And I feel blessed that you chose to come over here and be in this game, and that you're excited, and the fact that you jumped right in and made this character idea way before I was ready for you to was something that made me feel good still. So
I was hungry. I was
you were
hungry for
hungry
it.
for it.
I was hungry.
Well, thank you for that. So that is everybody here. We all are amazing people, and I am very thankful that I get to be your GM at this table. So thank you again. So, on that note, now you all get to hate me as we go into the game tonight and see what happens next. Last time when we left off, everybody here had gone out to find some sort of magical power source, kind of coerced into it, or more dragged into it by B, who didn't bother to tell everyone that when they were supposed to go home, they were going to take a detour first. But, you know, they were still on board when the detail happened, and they made it. They went to an old facility. Some sort of strange experimentation was going on, and some creatures still lived there after who knows how many hundreds of years. Lived being not necessarily the right term. I want to thank everybody out there for the +1s, by the way, and for our community, you know, being here and being part of it. So appreciate that. They had come across some old Ethalium kind of stored away inside of this facility, and some sort of massive eyeball creature that had housed an Ioun stone, an elf stone. It goes by many different names based on what century you're in, but the elves know it, or Kai knows it in this case with Leife, as an Ioun stone. That had been taken from this creature. They had killed it. Game over, lights out. The station's power was now gone and was starting to fade. And Zep consumed a great deal of that power, unable to destroy or to eliminate the Ioun stone. It had rolled to Leife's feet where he found it, recognizing that it is one of multiple parts of an ancient elven artifact. Something belonging to someone who he remembers as potentially family. So we'll see where that goes. But in the meantime, we're going to see where everybody is now in one moment. So, as Sparrows comes across our screen and we have this black to white fade in, we find ourselves in a strange situation, kind of perceiving things in a way that isn't exactly normal for everybody else. And if I was a good GM, I wouldn't have closed that part of this, and I would have it open right now. Here we go. So, as we have our vision begin to clear, there is blinking lights, there are these small words kind of printing across the screen in a language we don't necessarily comprehend, although, you know, it starts to clear up as we're looking at it. But flickering is going through it. The vision is dark. There are lines and striations in it. Whatever it is that's seeing, some sort of mechanical or electronic device that is watching this room, isn't functioning as well as maybe it should be. And there are silhouettes nearby that are darkened and difficult to see, tables with machinery and devices upon the edge of it, but you're only able to see out, 5-10 feet. It's very fuzzy, it's very dark. as the squeal of machinery nearby kind of permeates our auditory senses. Lights are flickering, and you get that little light tink noise as a light flickers on and then pops back out. We see a rudimentary heads-up display that now says, and if you would read the first thing, Nora, that I gave you.
Systems initiating memory error sector 175.336.
We see that in orange light lit across this heads-up display, we'll call it. And the room nearby flickers in and out, getting brighter, getting dimmer, getting brighter, getting dimmer, and pulse with some sort of sparking electric noise. Tools, automaton are now seen in various states of repair or construction, sitting around the tables mirroring the macabre, almost like some puppet master had these bodies and their strings have been snapped and they're just leaning in positions that are uncomfortable, familiar, and yet a little disheartening, a little disturbing. The silhouettes of these could be dead bodies all around, for all we know, unless you saw a little bit closer. Read the second one.
Error. Connective transmission to mobility not found. Connective transmission to tactile function not found. Temperature 106 degrees C. Core temperature increasing.
We suddenly hear the squeal of a door, a metal one, heavy, open in the distance, and the ramblings of an individual deep in thought begin to swell into the room.
I don't know. What is exactly problematic? I see failure. Continual. Should never trusted flesh to perform as machinery can. Damn that elf. Merging and manipulating indeed. Possible, yes. Preferable, no. We need more. Now, if only I could have their technology, it could resolve some of the greater need. Best only if it's their own idea, though, right? Only a free will and intent. Funny how they all need it to be from themselves to be a good idea. Only if it's better design. How to attain the best we shall see.
As the clinking of metal is heard, a form comes into the HUD's wavering view. An ancient man with bristling eyebrows and mechanical modifications all over his body, obviously having extended his lifespan far greater than what should be for a human. It sticks out aggressively from his form, angular, his back hunched, this massive spire of blinking lights out of his spine as he hobbles into the room. As the individual comes over closer into our view, we can't see exactly what's happening as the arm comes up over the camera and starts twisting things. We see flashing, flickering, and lights popping kind of in the view of this figure. The view blacks out completely for a moment before coming back online in better clarity.
Birdcage, simulacra, tower, and red.
Figure speaks a few code words while squinting at us in the viewfinder. Next words.
Master codes accepted. Clarion Bell online. How can I help you?
well, that's good. Of course you'd say that. I've got a job for you.
And the scene fades out. We now find ourselves back aboard the station. Outpost Gisley. Everybody else in the prospective positions that they were in as the lights flicker and go out. Red Iron, from your position inside and kind of docked with this station, you see the power drop to zero suddenly, as something that your allies have done have removed the engine entirely. You don't know what that was, but now there is nothing left attaching you. You see all of your connectivity kind of go away, all of your knowledge of locations in the outpost just flicker away like a bad dream. And of course, Sylvia comes to you. They seem to have disconnected whatever was powering the station. I can no longer communicate with it through you. I am sorry, Red Iron. I will have to unattach you. Your pain will return shortly.
That's what we came to do anyway. Let her rip.
As as you say, brace yourself. And suddenly you just feel like it's like something slurped up into your arm, tendrils of little metallic components that had come out and attached yourself to the space. And suddenly pain shoots through your arms, through your legs. Your head develops the most powerful migraine / eye strain headache where every movement causes a pulse to move through it. And you find yourself sinking towards the floor in dizziness.
Regulatory. Oh, the internal regulation system on this is it's not keeping up. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right.
I do
hold on.
apologize, Red Iron, but I only have a way to temporarily block any pain receptors. The components, hormones, you call them, build up over time.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. First of all, you're making progress. You apologized to me, and you warned me about what was going to happen. I think that might have been a breakthrough for you. I need to contact the crew.
I can patch you through if you wish.
Just patch any one of them. Patch me through to the captain.
Broadcasting to the captain. Suddenly, everybody's comms squelch for a second. Red Iron
Except
would like
Carrot.
to speak with you all. Except for Carrot, yes. And suddenly, you can hear Red Iron breathing heavily in your ear like somebody who doesn't know the phone call has started.
Okay, I'm deeply uncomfortable and in a doorway, but don't worry about that. There are locations that I have secured for you on this station. It's been 3 weeks since we did that part of the session.
You have...
What did I lock off again so that they could loot it?
You locked off the section that had the void... what did I call it? Basically, void prison.
I locked off the thing that was going to get detached and sent to the sun.
Yes, you locked off the void prison.
Yeah.
You locked off the containment area for all of the test subjects that would have been launched into the sun. Yes, which they were inside of at that point in time.
Yeah, but I didn't. The one thing that I wasn't able to rescue was the one where there was a bunch of floating bodies.
Yes, you were
Okay.
able to do that. I might as well get you the image of the map where everybody else is at the moment so that you all can see where you are still, I suppose. We'll share that, and I'll bring it back up here for our viewers at home or wherever it is that they choose to watch our fabulous show from. As soon as I can remember how to do that, it's only been 2 weeks. You know, I should know these things by now. There we are. All right, we are back. So everybody else is kind of in the central hub of this station, but there is other places still to look at. The atmospheric generator has kicked down and is now just in this low light, kind of dim situation. Basically, it's just on reserve life support. You don't know how long that'll last, but I'm sure somebody can figure that out. But everything else has just gone off. The air already tastes a little stale. So who reacts to Red Iron first here?
Roger that. Situation is being resolved at this time.
It seems like it's already resolved, Captain, given that the power is out. I'm
The
just
chunk
going...
power. The power hurt Amos badly. And
I'm operational. What's our
Yes.
next objective?
It's you. Just look around. I'm going to put on my safe tech, and you can get me on the way out.
Red Iron, how badly injured are you?
Pretty bad, actually.
I'm on my way.
Okay.
Just to clarify as well, Amos is missing an arm, if everybody remembers that too.
and Cullen's took a shot to the chest.
He's laying on the floor right now, yeah. Pretty serious damage happened here. Captain Leifei, what are your orders at the moment? What are you doing?
Captain Leifei is holding this little gemstone in his hand and just pockets it, and he's going to put it somewhere deep within his robes. He's going to turn towards Amos, and his hands are going to start glowing once more. All right, Amos, and B, can you get Collins off the ground? Put him on the table over there. I want to try and stop the blood flow.
I will do so now. Come on, Collins.
All right. Yeah. Do I have to move though? Because moving hurts.
We have to move, but I'll help.
Okay. All right. Give me a strong roll as you attempt to assist him up without pain, if possible. That is, nice, 18. So B, getting the big muscles
He's
out
feeling
here.
strong.
All right, you just help Cullens up and move him over towards Lefe. You're putting him on the table to the north of you. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of move him over, and Amos comes over as well with third arm still riding shotgun. Once they are there, what happens next?
That Uzumaki did a whole lot of hell on you. Just sec. And his hands are going to start glowing, and he's going to start pressing points within both their bodies to try and fix them up.
Do you wish to use the good touch as a
Yes.
as a combat or non-combat? If you're doing a combat heal, it's going to be quick. If you're doing a non-combat, it's going to take up to an hour for them to gain those benefits.
He's doing it quickly so that they can get to a better health professional.
Sounds good. And Clarion, you're heading towards Red Iron downstairs, correct?
I mean, she probably would stop and check that Amos and Cullens are both ready to move. But if Lefe seems to be laying on hands, then she will turn and go.
All right. So Lefe, use your
I
2
would
overload
like to
for
note
that.
that.
What was that, Amos?
I would like to note that they would toss a pouch towards Clarion, say it's for Red Iron, before joining them.
All right. All right. Your ability does not require a roll in this case. You're not in the middle of combat or anything like that, Kai. So that is one application of regen to both Cullens and Amos. So Amos, you can regain your application of regen in health. That would give you 3 back. And Cullens gains back 2 health. Not terrible, but enough to get you kind of back on your feet. That stump of an arm that, where your shoulder was kind of ripped off, now seals over and becomes kind of pink and with little tiny scales starting to grow on it again as you start to regenerate a little bit at a time. And Cullens' wound just becomes this angry red scar across his chest and belly. He is healing, but it's not without, scars. So you do that, and Clarion, as you go walking past, B, what are you doing right now?
She is angrily looting.
All right, you're looking around this room, or are you moving somewhere else?
This room and maybe down south a little bit.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is that as you kind of walk over to this little desk that is laying there kind of broken next to where all the damage happened, there is another note there. And I will go ahead and share that with you. If I can remember how to do that. Is it W or M, Kai, for the whispering somebody in Fantasy Grounds again?
W.
W. Okay, then it's just Beatrix. There you are. I've sent you a big long thing. If you feel free to read that out to people if you want to, or you can just read it yourself while you're doing this, and I will tell you what happens afterwards.
Yeah, I'd be questioning the method and safety of this research too. It's not safe at all. It did so much damage. Poor Cullens.
B seems to be
Amos.
looking at something on the table and then says that before moving away. Are you still holding the page? Are you going to give it to someone?
She'll pick it up and hold it as she wanders off.
Okay. So as B moves away, I'll give Gwen some time to read that if she wishes and then share that information with the class later. But in the meantime, Clarion, you walk back and head back over to the door, going downstairs where you can actually see Red Iron inside of that that small office building downstairs. Bits and pieces of the machinery nearby have been torn asunder. It looks like he jammed his body into it in various places. There are burns, there are scrapes, scars, cuts, bruises, and contusions all over him. What do you say as you see Red Iron sitting on the floor with his head down?
Red Iron, was this truly necessary?
Yes. I got to talk to the station, and that was helpful.
There is such a thing as a high cost for help. Too high of a cost. I would like you to consider that next time you attempt to injure yourself beyond recovery to help us.
I will try, but let's all be honest with ourselves. No promises.
Understood. Also, Amos said this was for you, and she hands him the bag.
Oh, Red pulls it open, and then the arm crawls out and just perches on its roost.
Back into position. Was there anything else in the bag, Amos?
Couple of small, what looks like tin bars, kind of connected to a pin.
Tin bars connected to a pin.
Just these two little rectangles on a pin.
Okay. And Clarion, what do you wish to do? You're gonna try to patch up Red Iron at this point, I'm assuming, right?
Jackal, is that rank insignia?
Yeah, baby, that's a captain's
I will
rank.
neither
Is that what that
confirm
is?
nor deny it this time. That is for later.
That is absolutely captain's rank.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna try and patch him up enough to get him back on board.
All right, give me a brains roll and remove one application or one use of your medical kit. An 11 is enough to just secure and allow them to regenerate faster, but isn't going to provide any extra health at this point in time unless you'd like to re-roll.
As long as he's stable and can be moved to the med bay, that should be okay.
All right.
I can walk. I can walk. It's fine.
As Clarion applies some medical bandaging, some salves and ointments, and then gives you a shot, and suddenly your pain just fades away.
Ooh.
You are still in critical condition. Please do not overdo it.
What did I do?
Do you not remember?
I kind of do. I remember having a very intense conversation with something that died.
Yes, I am not 100% sure. Apologies to Carrot. But I believe you spoke with the being which had the power core inside of it.
Oh. And you went ahead and killed it?
We had to. It had seriously injured Cullens.
Yes. That's honestly for the best. It was beyond saving.
Indeed. Well, up we go, and she attempts to help him up.
I got it. And the limb jumps down, attaches to Red Iron's like flesh leg, and then just like acts as a leg and just lifts them up.
Okay, I can probably walk.
Then you see it stick out straight as he's standing there as a kickstand.
Yeah.
Clarion just puts an arm around his back and steadies him.
All right, so the two of you together could start heading back towards the ship. We move back upstairs where Lefe has finished applying his own form of medical treatment to these two individuals. Cullens just goes, "Oh, that's so much better. Thank you, Captain Lefe."
No problem, Collins. You were the lead on this, so now that you're right on your feet, let's find you a Leeds-worthy treasure.
Oh, this place is scary. I don't know if I want to deal with more of that Athalium stuff. Do you think there's more of them here?
Well, maybe. we'll figure out. Red said something about it, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm no coward. Where's my gun?
Oh, I don't know. You can have mine. I don't use it.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I actually don't know how to use it.
All right. Well, thanks. You just point and whatever. You see him just put it into his holster. So, Kai, if Lefe will give me a magical roll once more, now that things have started to settle down.
Certainly. Does it have to do with space at all? No? Okay.
Oof.
2.
2 is not going to be high enough. Do you want to keep that, or would you like to re-roll?
Woof. I'm not heavy into magic, but I mean, I succeeded everything else, so I'll succeed here too. I'm gonna use an ace.
All right, here we go. Reroll. Ooh,
Another 14 instead.
Better. That is not enough to pinpoint exactly, but the Ioun Stone had drawn most of your attention when you had come here. Your senses kind of overwhelmed by it. For some reason, you were tethered to whatever power it exudes. But since Zep has drained a good portion of that, and this has kind of faded away, it's only pulsing lightly now, you happen to feel something else that you didn't before. To the east of you is some sort of magical item.
Collins, and he puts the stone back away.
Yeah?
Now, I'm not too sure about more thallium. If you have a gun now, so just stay to the back. I got a good pirate's hunch on this. I think I found some treasure.
All right, I'll stick with you. Amos, you feeling good enough to come?
Amos, having listened to the conversation, been staring at Lefe, shakes their head and goes, yeah, let's get it paid here.
Paid? I mean, there's probably a lot of scrap in this place if we wanted to sit and tear things apart. There's B standing off to the side now. B, which direction did you head after reading that page?
She slipped it in a pocket and went south and started exploring down where the creatures came from.
All right, you move in that direction, and I'll go ahead and reveal this for the moment. So you see a large glass panel. On the other side of it, there seems to be some alchemical runes on the floor. There happens to be some bones, some ancient vessels and things like that that had been used to make some sort of chemical substances. And there is a suspension, you believe, of some of that black stuff that you saw growing and trying to fight you that was attached to the individuals downstairs inside of a jar. It doesn't seem to be reacting, but you do see it just kind of floating there. Something about the size of like this. It's like a pen. It's about this long. Something small and just kind of a fibrous strand.
She'll pick it up and pocket it. It might be useful later on.
All right. So just write it down as whatever you want. It's a vial of whatever that creature was, floating in a suspension that you don't understand at the moment, and seeming inert. Off to your left, there is a couple of small chests that happen to have some stuff in them. You start searching through it. You're not finding money. You're finding chemical components. An alchemist might want them. You could potentially sell them as you would like spices or fine cloth. It's materials from the scientific exploration that they were doing in this station, and they are boxed up. Relatively heavy, but if you got them back to the ship, they're worth, a good chunk of silver.
There's some stuff down here. It's a little much for me to carry, but we might consider taking some of it.
What kind of stuff? Amos shouts.
Chemicals and stuff.
Anything with skulls on it?
A few things with skulls on them.
Yeah, there are a bunch of skulls here.
Anything with wavy lines?
Yeah.
Couple.
Get them all.
Okay.
Each one of these boxes weighs about 10 pounds. So, and there are 8 boxes here. If you want to like pack them all up into your things, I think you have just enough carrying weight to carry most of that. Let's see, you have a 100 weight limit. Currently you're at 28. So you can carry almost all of them yourself without breaking your back.
Okay. Yeah, she'll move them all to the table where Amos and Cullens were.
All right, they're all roughly the
Kind of
size of a
stage them there.
shoebox, so you just stack them all over there, and there are a couple of bags and things nearby. You just start grabbing to transport them when you're ready to do so. So Red Iron and Clarion, do you head back to the ship at this point?
Yeah.
I feel like that's up to Clarion.
Okay.
She's taking him back to the ship because her priority is to get people like in med bay and patched up.
All right, as you take a few steps heading back towards those doors, which were on the south side of the map on that other one, they are still open from what you had all done before. However, every step you're starting to take feels lighter, and suddenly you start having much lower gravity as the reserve energy of this station is starting to drain away.
Yep.
Please be
Anti-gravity
advised,
down.
gravity is reducing. I believe the atmospheric residual energy is fading.
Within the heart of the station, it still remains the same, but it is slowly dwindling like a bubble that's getting smaller. So, as Clarion and Red Iron take a few steps forward beyond that, suddenly you find yourself weightless, and the air starts to grow very, very thin, Red Iron. Do you turn on your safe tech? And you find the ship outside. You're able to leap off of the docking bay out to it. It is drifted a little ways away from the station as it had to do some fighting earlier, and Bicky has brought it back in line. As you board the ship and step on board, Scarborough's there. Well, I see you all seem to have come away probably about as good as normal. Yeah, you got bruises and aches and pains and sprains and burns and cuts, and that sounds normal. You get anything good this time?
That is accurate, Skyborough.
I did not see the heal. So Annika did provide a heal for Red Iron at this point. Heal player has been redeemed. Roll a d6 plus 1, and you will gain that health back. This is the first time we've gotten to use this. That is 2 points of health back. It is
I'll
something.
take it.
So Red Iron, as you're moving, you're just starting to feel a little better. The natural environment that kind of, you know, when you move someplace comfortable, even if something was really painful somewhere else, it just starts to fade away because you're just used to feeling good in that spot. That happens as you go onto the ship, and that puts you in a better position than you were at before. So Scarborough looks over at both of you and goes, all right, well, you might take over your positions here on the ship then. I think that's probably a good idea. We shot a few of those things. They splattered all over the place, but they seem to be recoalescing in the distance.
Yes, they do that. Please keep them at bay.
All right, I'll keep cannons loaded. Vicky, we're going to need to move back just a little bit more, though, so we can aim at them. They are a little far off. And off to the side, suddenly...
There are still crew on board.
Well, yeah, but you want me to be able to shoot at these things, right? I gotta aim. I can't just... We're up against the station here.
I believe when the time comes, we should be able to navigate back to the docking bay. Yes, Red Iron?
Yeah,
Whoa.
did I leave the docking bay door open?
You did.
Yeah.
There's a docking bay door. If you get the things off of that, you can dock the ship there.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna head over towards the docking bay door then. And Vicky off to the side just looks over at you all. Okay then. All right. I'll just turn the ship and hopefully not crash. I'm not that great at driving, unless one of you want to try this.
In that case, belay that. Please remain here until we get a better on board.
What does belay mean? I have not heard that word.
Suspend the command.
Stop. Okay, gotcha. You see her just kind of sit there, and she engages the locking mechanism again, holding it in place. And we now see the two of you kind of walking on deck, and something comes barreling across it before slamming into Red Iron from the side. As it smashes into you, you see Carrot's smiling face. Oh, you made it! You're alive! Oh, goodness, I was so scared after that whole pulse thing went right through my entire body. Oh, Red Iron, I'm so glad to see you!
Hi, Carrot. Don't you have literally anything else to do?
I do
Right.
not! I was not given any other orders. Although, I do have to say, there's a blinking light over there I could look at.
Red Iron kind of like casts like a hazy glare over at the blinking light, just making sure it's not a warning light.
It is a warning light, actually, over
God
near
damn
where B usually navigates from. The console there is picking up something.
Okay. Here's what I need you to do. You
What
need
is
to
it?
stand at the edge of the bow, and if any of the black inky things get too close, you should tell Scarborough to shoot. And if he
Oh.
doesn't do it, just keep yelling at him as loud and as often as you can.
I play lookout. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'll do the lookout thing. I got such great eyes. They go in 2 different directions. That means I can see all over the place. You see, he like jumps over and like, hi, Clarion. Nice to see you as well. And then rushes to the
Hello,
front.
Carrot.
He moves so quickly that he slides to a stop and has to use his tail to grab itself from flying off the deck, coming out like even and stopping, and then like wheeling back in, almost like the tail's being cranked.
Clarion, there's a warning on the navigation console.
Yes, I need to get you into the medical bay, and then I will look at it.
Yeah, warning on the navigation console. First, I think I will be fine.
I have 2
Please-
plus 1s to my next roll.
Please get yourself to the medical bay.
Yes,
Do not.
I will.
We will eventually fix anything wrong with the ship, but we do need to fix you first.
I will 100% go directly to the medical bay without your supervision.
The medical bay, Red Iron. Becky,
Yeah.
please make sure Red Iron gets to the medical bay and that he stays there.
I will do that. Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Red Iron with me.
Thank you very
Let's-
much. I will take over at the helm.
Okay then.
Check the warning on the navigation console, please. I don't know why it's bothering me,
Yes.
but it's screaming. It is screaming at me.
I will attempt to silence it.
Okay.
So Bicky comes over and like grabs Red Iron under the arm and then turns and starts walking back towards the medical bay. Hey, do you want a toaster strudel?
Actually, yes, I do.
I've got one for you. It's warmed up.
That sounds great.
Here you are. She hands you this little flaky biscuit thing that seems to have some cinnamon and sugar on it. That feels amazing, and you gain 1 benefit for the rest of the scene, as you have not consumed anything in a long time.
I forgot something in the engine room.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Well,
you
I
can-
mean, Clarion did say I need to guarantee that you get to medical, but we could take a stop over there first if you want.
Can you get me another toaster strudel? I'll just be a minute.
Well, absolutely. Of course. Hands you another one.
Thanks.
And we see Red Iron and Bicky taking a little bit of a scenic route on the way to medical. Clarion, where did you go from there? Did you over to the helm? or
To
you
the
went-
helm. Yeah, navigation.
Okay. So you move over to navigation and give me a brains roll as you attempt to decipher what it is saying. That is a 12. So with a 12, all you can tell is that there appears to be a large object approaching the navigation console is telling you need to move the ship soon. But you are on the other side of this station, so I mean, whatever it is going to hit the other side of the station first.
I will radio Leife and report what I have just discovered.
All right. So we'll move back to where Leife is, and we'll get to that conversation in a second once it arrives. Leife, you are there with Cullens and Amos. At the moment, B has been transporting boxes back and forth. Where did you head after determining there was some sort of magical item still aboard this station?
I am following my magic radar like a bat with echolocation.
All right. So you head off to the east. There's a small door in your way that was never opened right here. So how do you attempt to open it? It is a metal door.
To the okay. Popping up to this metal door, does it has nothing that shows that I can open?
There is a console to the left of it, but it has no power anymore. So it is a smooth metal door with a couple of tiny indentations that would normally use to grab it and try to open it, but it doesn't have anything else on it at the moment.
Collins, I think it's behind here, but I don't know if we can get through it. Anybody got a plan?
Could we wrench it open? There's a piece of the roof. There's a metal bar here on the ground. I mean, Amos, you only have one arm right now, but do you think maybe we could get some leverage and maybe you could just, I could help?
Amos nods. They go to pick up the bar, and they're going to stick their head to the door, listen for anything behind it.
You listen. You hear something? Like papers rustling or something along those lines, but that's all you get. Doesn't seem to be anything big moving, at the very least.
Letting out a low growl, Amos goes to open the door.
Give me a strong roll with a +2 because of leverage from this bar, and Collins will attempt to assist. Collins gives you a -1 to your roll, so you are at a +1 total. Collins gets in the way more than assists. And you get an 18. Nice. Even with Cullen, you end up like pulling that whole bar with one hand, and Cullen's holding onto it is like, whoa! And gets like lifted up with it as there's a grinding pop noise, and you bend part of this door frame. It is not technically open, but it is can opener, like pulled in one corner, so you could crawl underneath of it.
They are going to draw their cinnabar, and they are going to slither through the hole open on that door.
So you slither in, and you can see yet another glass case here. There seems to be an open hall to the south of you if you just walked around. However, with this door open, there are some sort of machinery to both your north and south, and inside of the case, you see something. There is a body lying there that has one hand that has been chopped into about 16 pieces, all laying like almost perfectly next to it, as well as a torso that is slashed to ribbons. There is wind moving through this area, causing papers and things to kind of flutter and flip. Not the atmospheric generator causing it, but on a raised dais in the middle of some sigils on the floor is a sword.
They are going to slither close to the body, cinnabar at their side, not quite fully extended. Best way I can survive it, Amos is crawling around like an alligator.
Okay. All right, so you crawl forward, and are you getting close to that door at the moment?
Yeah, they're getting closer to the door.
Okay. So, as you get closer to the door, whatever that object is that's inside of there, it's definitely a blade of some kind that's floating just barely above the dais in the middle of the room. It's silver, single-edged blade. It's ensconced in a case of fine glass, elven in manufacture, with a unique edge that seems older than the blade itself, than the rest of the metal used to hold it. That's all you can see at the moment inside of there. Wind seems to be rushing through the room, even though it is in a solid case.
I'm gonna touch it.
All right, you have to break through the glass to get to the other side first. So, or find some way past the actual retaining wall. Leifei, you come into the room with Collins behind Amos and see him slide across the floor, getting closer and closer to that thing, and then you see a weapon inside. Give me a magical roll, and we'll see if you identify it at all.
Certainly. Bang, bang, it's a 5.
5 is not a success.
It's not what?
It is not.
I thought this was a roll low system.
Dang.
So you can't identify it with
yeah.
that, but you can tell that that's the item the magical emanations are obviously coming off of. So Amos, what do you do to get through this thing? Are you going to look around? You just try to break it? It is about 6-inch thick glass of some kind that happens to be tempered with alchemical marks.
Is it bulletproof?
I don't know.
Let's say I do shoot it and it happens to not be bulletproof. Would there be spalding or ricochets?
Possibly.
No, don't answer that.
As you're standing there looking at those things, Aldromech has so beneficially provided an item that the players find. Collins to the side goes, "Hey, what's this?" And you see him lift up a set full of alchemical acids. There's a variety of them there. You're not sure what they do off the top of your head unless you roll brains and can succeed to see if they'll help you get through this glass.
I don't know.
Nat 20 from Amos. Amos.
But he does.
Would you like to have studied at the university temporarily, not even on purpose, but while sitting there on security duty at one point, gathering a little bit of knowledge about alchemy in the future that you'd like to use? Or would you like to know the pattern within which you need to actually disable these magical sigils to get the door to open? So one of them will provide you future benefits. One of them provides you now benefits.
Why do you make me choose?
Because I like tormenting all of you.
You are the most wonderful person in the world. I'm going to say that. Just I got this vision in my head of Amos just sitting there with the freshmen of the university, just playing Magic the Gathering. What do you mean black doesn't kill them? Oh, but I really want that sword. I'm gonna go with Amos security for the library team.
All right, for the university. All right, so if you'll write down on your notes, Amos worked as a security guard at the university, and that will come into play for some of your future roles. Now, looking at the chemical compounds in here, you recognize that they are a variety of solvents used to break down some of the way these sigils are designed. You can tell that there are elements that are supposed to be respective of certain aspects of nature. So there's fire, water, earth, lightning, and wind on these sigils. But the chemical compounds inside are all just scientifically named things. All you can tell from them is their color, the way they smell, and that's it at the moment, how they look and how they smell. So what do you want to, how do you want to explore this? And will Leifei help in any way?
First off, I just want to ask, is there an expiration date for the chemicals? And is that expiration date the 21st night of September?
That is not the case. No.
Probably they are going to attempt to... Oh, God, how do I put this? It's this weird Frankenstein of logic that they're going to rattle off about all of this stuff semi-coherently, like all of this sounds like just sheer stupidity with an air of reasonable logic about how this all might break down whatever this is on the wall.
All right, so Amos kind of starts speaking scientific nonsense to everybody nearby. What do you do at the moment, Leifei?
Amos, what are you talking about? You might be overthinking this. And Leifei is going to try and punch the glass.
Give me a strong roll as you attempt to punch the glass. That is 15. You swing in, your fist hits this. There is a rebounding crash as some force shoves you away, and you take 1 point of damage to your fist. You didn't hit hard enough to do anything.
Well, maybe you're not.
Amos the alligator's on the ground. Their jaw has opened up. Their head is tilted back, and they are laughing at Lesrin audibly.
All right.
Well, my master always told me I didn't think enough.
Cullen's off to the side, steps forward, and he goes, well, you know, I wasn't the greatest student of science or anything, but, maybe they're color-coded?
Color-coded. That would make sense.
That's how I do it.
You see one of them is red, one of them is blue, and the other three are gray.
Okay, so we have the positive compound, the negative compound, and three intermediaries that may create something. What we need to do is we need to get those colors coordinated with whatever sort of sigils is on the wall. Now, if only we can find a key and derive that from the tomes, which the alchemical schools have defined for us, therein.
At that moment, B, you have finished stacking the boxes. You've come around the corner to see everybody standing there staring at things while holding like some sort of alchemical box. What are you doing right now?
First of all, she's chuckling to herself about Cullen's trying to solve things because Cullen's and that's her relationship with him. But she'll wander slowly over. What's going on, guys?
We're trying to solve somebody's force trap. You can't punch this open. It's like a horrible thing.
It's a horrible thing.
You can't punch most magic open.
Wait, there's magic, right? Yep, that makes sense. But the sword back there,
alchemical
see that?
marbling.
And apparently Amos, I think he went to the college.
I mean, he's full of surprises.
Listen to him right now.
Still warbling about alchemical nonsense.
So, as you're sitting there just talking about these things, a message comes over the radio. Clarion, what do you say to Leifei?
Leifei, navigation has a warning on the console saying that there is a large object approaching and the ship needs to move. However, I see nothing in the sky. Logically, the conclusion I have reached is that it is on the other side of the station. Please advise.
Who on deck has the most capability of moving the ship?
None of them? As far as I
Nobody.
can tell, Becky has been helping, but her confidence in her skills is low.
How about you? Do you have the protocols for that?
Do I?
Not specifically. You weren't designed for navigation or ship flight, but I mean, you are your own automaton at this point.
I have never been trained in flight, but I could improvise.
Well, that's not the best thing to hear, but either way, everyone on ship is in danger, I'd say. If you can't see it, that might mean it's invisible. Hell, we've been dealing with a lot of problems lately that we don't know anything about, so it's probably an actual threat. What do you think? Am I talking crazy? I'm looking at sigils right now. I just get hit back by force field. I might be a bit,
I would suggest disengaging. There is always loot to be found elsewhere. In any case, Benjamin's yelling at me. In any case, the prospect of invisible large objects approaching does not comfort me. Do we have any way to reveal invisibility?
Whew, now
But try
that's...
shooting at it.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's
not intangible.
invisible, it's still going to take hits, but when those hits hit, they are going to tumble, and when the hits tumble off of something that isn't there, that says something's there.
Spill
least-
paint on it.
That's how it worked out.
Either way, it's getting close, or else the radar wouldn't have picked it up. You should probably try and move the ship. You or somebody else. I don't want the captain to be in danger.
Out of
And I'm sure
nowhere,
you don't-
Red Iron taps on Clarion's shoulder. Clarion. Hey.
You see her start to jump, but her servos immediately correct.
I was trying to lay down, but I can't. It's screaming at me something awful.
There is
And
an
there's
potentially
some-
invisible large object approaching the ship that
It's-
the
I mean-
sensors are telling us to move.
What even is invisible? When something is invisible, it is not entirely imperceptible. It is only outside of the spectrum of our limited gaze. But there's
Yes,
other
Red
ways to
Iron.
access this information. I'm sorry.
Red-
Piercing one of my ears is terrible.
Red,
Is that
please
Red Iron
cover.
with you?
Yeah. Thank you, Leife, for your advice. I will attempt to control the situation.
Does Red gain any information from the screaming alarm coming off the nav console?
Yeah, so Red just kind of wanders in that direction a little bit and looks at it. Give me a brains roll, Red. Critical failure.
I'm acing that.
All right.
There's no way that goes without it. That's madness. I'm acing it.
That is a 16. So, Red, as you're standing there, you recognize the systems are telling you that there is a massive thallium approaching rapidly in response to a signal that it received earlier.
Oh, I recognize that voice. I recognize it. Clarion.
Yes.
That's the voice of the thing that I talk to, or at least it's similar. They have kind of the same accent.
What is the implication of this?
The thing you killed that was powering the station.
Yes.
It's actually a very small thing, and the big there's a larger one. That's what's
And
coming.
then she radios the whole team, evacuate immediately.
And as you tell her that, Red, and you kind of step away a little bit, suddenly the voice comes back into your head.
Excellent job. It does appear that maybe some modifications are in order. You've been babbling for a while. We'll see if we can repair that.
Wait, Who's talking to me?
And Red Iron walks down the stairs. At that point, you see Red Iron
Under his
come
own
out.
control?
You see Red Iron come out of the medical bay with Bicky at his side. Red, you're impatient. What is taking Clarion so long?
And Red heads. Let's see here. So Red walked out of the medical bay.
Red walked down the stairs, and then Red came out of the medical bay with Bicky.
Okay.
Where did the one that walked out of down the stairs go?
Just downstairs towards the holding bay, or towards basically towards storage and where everybody sleeps, the whatever that's called.
Well, the Red that walked.
dormitories.
The Red that walked to the down to the medical bay with Vicky would like to go to the engine room. Actually, that's
Oh yes.
Red's objective. That's what Red wants to do.
We will see what Red does in the engine room. This is previously, as we go back just a minute or two, and we see Bicky and Red enter the engine room at this point.
Oh, this is a flashback. Yeah, I guess Red would head up if Clarion's taking her sweet time.
Okay. So we will say that though. So you went into the engine room. What occurs in there at this moment as you both step inside? You see Sylvia's wiring everywhere, the gentle beat of the engines and the pulse of energy coming off of her, pretty consistent, like a heartbeat almost. As you step inside, what do you do as Bicky waits?
So Red saunters in.
Lock the door.
Lock the door. Okay. You
Oh,
see-
not to Vicky.
Oh,
Walks in, closes the door behind him, says to Sylvia, "Lock the door."
of course.
And then Red sits down on the hammock made of wires and just sort of lays back.
Okay. You and I need to talk.
We do. It
does appear that
our conversations have been strained as of late, at best.
No, something else. Different conversation. We could put the whole. We can come back to that one, but right now I really need a nap, and I don't feel like sleeping in medical because Clarion keeps talking about my biological functions. I know they're messed up.
That is unfortunate. Having broken parts is bad.
It's okay. They'll stitch themselves back together. They usually do.
Red looks over at their busted arm.
So, what do you wish? Just to rest?
Yes, rest for now. But when I'm up, the station thing that was I wanna just do a blow by blow of that.
Oh, of course.
Womp.
We will take care of that right away.
And Red's out.
I'm going to scan your biological functions and make sure nothing is imperatively injured or in danger. Lay back, relax, while I play some soothing music. Then you hear
Red like snaps one eye open. No, not the music, not the music, just the engine, please. Thank you.
ceasing music. Metallic noises activated. You hear a bunch of it's like an old tugboat sound from Avalon. And at that point, you hear Bicky like banging on the door for a moment as you kind of slip off into slumber. A little while later, you awaken feeling a bit refreshed but a bit jumbled, and you're now standing inside of Med Bay with Bicky, and like wondering where Clarion is and wondering what you're doing here as you step out the door. And you hear behind you Bicky saying, "Red, I was supposed to get you here, but Clarion didn't say what we had to do afterwards, so I'm gonna go bake something."
Can I have another strudel?
Absolutely. I've got a few of these. Here you go. And why not one more, just as a backup?
Hey, how did I get here?
Oh, you walked. I mean, you were very quiet at the time, but you didn't want to lay down in
Did
bed.
I get the thing out of the engine room that I needed?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you came out, told me you were squared away.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to catch up to you, though, because you were, trying to just walk away from me, and it was weird.
I'll be on deck, thank you.
Okay. And then Red steps out, and we see Clarion. Telling everybody
Clarion turns around.
to leave right away.
Clarion turns around and says, Sylvia, the second red iron had better not be you. And then she goes back to the radio. Potential large zombie object approaching.
The potential large zombie object approaching. We move back inside as you were all communicating with Clarion. There's a bit of a lapse for a second, and Cullens goes, that one smells like cinnamon. And he points at one of the gray vials.
Cinnamon's spicy and warm.
True. Oh, I want one of Bicky's strudels.
I bet
I think I'm
Iron's
gonna brute force
small
this.
right now.
You're going to brute force it, eh? How do you attempt to brute force the glass?
Amos says this.
Yes.
They're just gonna sit there, just try to remember some nerds rattling off about nerd stuff.
Okay.
And then they're gonna solve this. They're gonna give this one attempt, and then they're just gonna scurry back to the ship. This is beyond them.
So, one attempt. Your one attempt, you're going to try to brute force it how? Physically? Or are you going to just try adding these chemicals on and seeing what happens and then walking away from it if it doesn't work?
Brute force remembering what to do to solve this problem, trying the brute force, and then leaving.
Okay.
With or without sword.
So, give me a brains roll as you attempt to make your way through this thing. 4. Unfortunately, you can't remember well enough with a 4.
I'd still like to ace that.
Okay, give me an ace and reroll.
I don't think Benjamin would approve of me just giving it one shot, but this technically counts as 2?
There goes an ace. And a 9! A 9 is not successful enough to bypass the protections on the door.
Wasn't there a +2 added?
Yes, there should be a +2. So that would be an 11. So still a little low. I will say with an 11, you are able to trigger one of them, one of the locks. You see
What'd you do with that?
He happened to have had some of the chemicals he was holding spill onto his hand as he punched one of the sigils, and it lit up.
Mates, throw the chemicals on the sigils.
Just as willy-nilly, like all over the place? Or?
I think we're going to have to do it in
No,
order.
stop. This is going to sound stupid. I'm going to pour all the chemicals on my hands, and I'm going to touch the wall randomly, like finger painting.
You're gonna finger
Amazing.
paint with all the
It's stupid.
I'm going to finger paint with potentially hazardous material. Yes.
All right, so
Can I just can I take a look first, Amos?
Fine.
all right, what do you do, B?
I'm going to examine them. Cullen's obviously smelled one, and it smelled like cinnamon. Going to kind of smell them all, look at them, see what I can gather from each.
All right, give me what approach do you want to use to do this? Well, which one of your stats would you potentially like to use to try to figure this out, and how?
I was thinking magical because she's had enough conversations with Zep that she's going to be able to make sense of, cinnamon. Like fire, it burns.
Okay, give me a magical roll. You'll attempt to figure out which one of these chemical compounds is effectively related to that. An 8 is not gonna do it, however.
No. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and blow my ace on this now because that needs to happen.
Disaster.
I want
kindergarten.
magic sword.
Ooh, 20 from B. So you're able to tell that one of them is a cinnamon concoction, absolutely, and you believe that whatever is in that is probably related to fire. Now Amos has triggered the wind one. There is gunpowder mixed in with a suspension of alcohol, which you think might be related to either earth or fire, maybe. But cinnamon, if that's fire, then that one is it. One of these concoctions is something known as aquafortis, which is literally a concoction that breaks down gold and things like that. But with the name aqua, maybe water. And then the final one that is there, you would assume, would be related to electricity, as it has iron shavings within it and is kind of floating in an electrified suspension. It smells a little bit like sulfur and ozone. So
let's go ahead and apply small amounts of them to each of the locks and see what happens.
how do you apply it to them? By hand, or are you going to use something?
Do I still have the glove that I was wearing
Yeah, you
from
haven't,
the engine room?
yeah, you haven't said you got rid of it, so it was in your pocket.
In the glove.
All right, you
Finger.
take that out. You cross the first one, and you see one of the runes glow for a second, burn away with fire, and dissolve. You reach down and do another one, and suddenly it fades away. The glove begins smoking and smelling a little bit like burning leather, and you dip your finger into the next one, put it across there, and it immediately starts dissolving the glove, and you have to flip it off your hand to avoid hurting yourself. Give me an agile roll to do that, as very powerful acids now begin to eat through this glove you're wearing. All right, with a 12, you get away without any particular damage as you're watching it at this point. It's small, but you have one left, and the glove is no longer there to apply it.
She's going to just pour a little bit on and see what happens.
You lean it forward and you pour it across this thing, and it burns away. As there is no longer any of these sigils on this, it's just a thick layer of glass now, you think.
Try hitting it now, Leifei.
All right.
As Leifei moves forward, give us a strong roll.
Fantastic.
As you go to shatter the glass by hand, let's see. Ow! An 11's going to hurt. It will not break the
Bonk.
glass. But as you smack it, you get a little bit of a bloody knuckle, and there's a small crack in the glass.
Elf magic, but it's breaking, and he's gonna punch it again with his bloody fist.
Another swing comes in. Give me another roll. If you roll poorly, this will hurt your hand more. Oh! Your right hand is now going to take a d4 plus your own strength and damage.
Damn. All right.
Shoulder clarion is speaks in your mind. This seems counterproductive to your health.
Devil Red Iron is on the other shoulder.
It is just flesh. It will heal.
Leifei, you take 5 points of damage to that right hand, and our audience has provided a complication for you. As you slam into this, you do cause a fragment of the glass to come off and lodge itself deep within your hand, coming out the other end. You now have a barbed and broken piece of glass wedged into your hand, providing you a wound that will not go away until you find a way to remove this. Trying to just draw it out will fracture the glass.
Ow.
I'm gonna not let you get hurt anymore, Captain. And Amos is going to. This is
Oh,
gonna.
what, you gonna punch it too?
I do.
Why
I
don't
think we all learned I'm pretty
something other
stupid.
than hands to hit it with?
Yeah, how about
I have scales. I have scales. I have hardened scales. I have calloused hardened scales knitted together like scale mail. One could say it's armor.
There's also
All right.
a big beam from the ceiling right over there.
There is.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I was
think.
about to use.
Whoa, and I'm losing a whole lot of blood right now. Wow, that
Let's
might
get
be
you back
smart.
to medical. Be good. You take them back to. Yeah.
Leifei is bleeding and taking 1 damage a minute right now from that hand wound.
Can you get the magic sword?
He just kind of stumbles over. You ever had one of those moments where you're like, oh, I'm really hurt. Oh god.
yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh.
Bee's gonna try and wrap the hand the way that she's seen Clarion do to try and staunch the bleeding at least a little.
Give me a brains roll. What do you have to wrap it with, however?
Her vest.
Kai's
Alright.
got bandages.
Oh, that's true.
He has bandages on his arm.
He already has them. You can loosen them up and use them, I suppose. So yeah, give me a brains roll, and it's just a straight roll. That is a 2. B, how do you want to hurt him more?
I mean, I don't want to, but I would assume that she's tying it and just kind of pushing the glass in a little further as
Like
she wraps.
shoves down and starts rubbing against the muscles and the tendons in his wrist. A huge amount of pain hits you, Leifei. Roll tough, or you will pass out.
Certainly.
Roll target's going to be a 14 or higher. Oh, just barely.
14 higher.
You're suddenly just intense pain shoots through you. You have another distraction until you get some healing now. And it just radiates all the way up your arm. You can't focus away from it. And you just feel so bad right now. Amos, while they're working on
Collins.
that, what do you wish to be doing while they're working on it? Collins, I gotta roll for Collins. Collins looks at it and goes, no. He looks at his own hand, the robotic one that he had, and then he just turns white as a sheet and just like leans back against the wall and just kind of sinks to the floor and starts rocking. Something very similar happened to him a long time ago, and he's currently reliving
Never
it.
mind.
Amos, completely unaffected by the Tom and Jerry level of nonsense going on in this room at this time, in an effort to access the sword, is just looking at Collins, goes to, with their left hand set on their shoulder, realizes there is no left hand, shrugs, grabs the beam from the ceiling, and crowbars the wall open.
All right, you rush forward and just try to break it open. Give me a strong roll at +2, and we'll see how you do. Oh, there is a heal coming from Annika to Leifei. Give me a d6 + 1. 6. 6 health comes back to your hand, and as you're sitting there, some errant eternal seems to take pity on you, and you see the shards of glass slowly extricate themselves, popping out onto the floor, as our audience begins fighting against themselves by causing complications and then healing those complications. But what
Oh my
a big
God.
dome, that's what Nick says. Your wounds are gone, and you have gained health back, no longer being disabled in that hand temporarily. So, Amos rushes forward, slams into this wall, and hits it like a brick wall. It just stops and shudders. You see the crack has not extended from where Leifei hit it with an 8, unless you wish to re-roll in some way.
Technically, they're trying to crowbar the wall, not hit the wall, so...
Yes, you went to crowbar,
Yeah.
and it slipped, and then you just slammed the end of it against the wall, and it didn't break.
Then I'm going to use my virtue, roll with the recoil, and use their body, all 300 pounds of it, in full momentum, to push through the wall.
All right.
It's going to end badly, folks!
Give me another strong roll. I will let you use your virtue for that. You just kind of spin around and throw your whole body weight at this wall at the same time. And boom! This time, Amos slams into it so hard that it fractures around him. We just see him like gritting his teeth as glass shards fly through the air, cutting little scratches into his scales and across his armor and his shield, just getting little tiny rivets in it. And then the glass crumbles to the ground. You're now standing inside a room filled with wind that is just whipping around you in such a strong way that it leaves little tiny score marks across your chest, your arms, things like that, not causing pain, but close to it, like when the wind is way too strong or you're being hit by just the edge of a pressure washer. Whatever's coming off of this sword is strong enough at the moment, or the pedestal itself, you don't know if it's the sword, that you believe that's what sliced that other figure into pieces inside the room.
Amos looks at their arm. Amos looks at their stump. Amos rolls their eyes. Looks back. Lets out a breath and reaches out with their mouth to bite down on the handle.
Before you go there, Beatrix, you see massive amounts of wind whipping through the room. You are in Cadus, born of wind. It cannot harm you.
I'm in my element now.
As you, if you want to
What?
bypass Amos and walk in there to grab that sword, you were able to do so without injury.
Oh, definitely. She absolutely will.
We see B walk past Amos as you're getting ready to go into that room. These blades of wind whipping past. You see them go across B and just flutter her hair instead of cutting. And as you move forward, Beatrix, whatever was in that case was exuding this aura of just razor wind that you just casually move through like you're parting grasses or some kind of the water basically in the air, just moving it out of the way. You step forward, you open the case, and the wind ceases. All of the dust in the room drops to the floor. And standing before you on this, floating, is an elven blade.
Yeah, I can see why Leifei wants this.
You grab a hold of it, and as you hold it, there's some sort of feeling like if you were standing in a sunbeam. A gentle warmth radiates across your entire self. That slight comfortable laziness of a Sunday afternoon after a nice cup of coffee, and a light breeze seems to move across you. The wind itself smells more fresh as you hold it.
This sword is home.
That is not creepy the slightest.
And B, as you turn back and walk over towards them, Leifei, you're able to stand upright. And you see that B is holding this blade. Across its length is written something in Elvish script.
Whoa, B, you look sick.
Thanks, Leifei.
Hey, you want to do a pose? Do like a couple poses with... Oh, right, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, who wants a free lesson ride?
I do!
What?
No, wait, Cullen should, because he was hurt, but
I have room for 3.
Yay!
Everybody climbs up on Amos's back. Leifei, you
We'll
and your
grab the
skateboard.
bags on our way out, too.
We're
Alright.
bored and...
You all begin rushing out of the station as quickly as you can from that point. Clarion, standing upon the deck, you there with Red Iron, kind of looking off into the distance, you see something because there is nothing there. Your sensors pick up the absence of starlight in a section that's just outside of, the edge of this station, and it seems to be growing bigger. The crew has not left yet.
I recommend haste. We have sighted the intruder. Haste. Please go fast.
You hear Amos cut in just this methodical sound of boots, claws, whatever you want to call it. Hybrid of both, sure. Boots with claws in them, pounding on the ground. Yeah, we are coming right back this moment. Open door, open door, open door. Maybe you hear bees whooping and hollering in the background and something like that.
Leifei skating alongside.
Doors open, but there's no gravity.
As you
There's no gravity? Yes!
as you reach the edge of the gravity, Red Iron, you and Clarion can see in the distance this massive object starting to dwarf the size of the station, approaching very, very rapidly. Leifei, B, and Amos, give me an agile roll to see how successful you are at moving through low gravity on your way out to the ship and how long it takes. Amos with a 4. B with an 18, and Leifei with a 7. Both Amos and Leifei will not make it before the impact occurs without assistance. As they are both airborne in the void, they don't have the ability to help themselves at the moment. So I will go through each one of the crewmates to see if there's some idea they come up with. B, you are currently on Amos's back, and you can see the ship coming. If you launch yourself off from his back, you will arrive there successfully with that 18.
With full knowledge that this is going to hurt like hell, would I be able to call what wind is left, what atmosphere is left, to push Leife and Amos faster?
You can definitely attempt to call the wind, for sure. You're going to be taking 3 points of core hit points of damage from that. However, you'll be more successful if you take 4 hit points of damage and do a chaos effect, if you're successful at all. If you want to move both of them with just a standard move using your wind control, you will need an 18 or higher. If you go with chaos, you need a 14 or higher to get everybody out.
Let's go with some chaos.
Chaos it is! Give me a magical roll, get higher than a 5 and higher than a 14 to save everyone. Here we are all. And B is seriously injured at this point with an 18! Beatrix reaches down, grasps a hold of all of the wind behind her, using all that Zep has taught, and suddenly floods it out of the station like air leaving a balloon. And suddenly you're all blasted towards the ship. You're all moving very quickly now. Give me a tough roll to hit the deck without injuring yourselves.
Literally or figuratively?
Literally. That is an 8. Amos is going to slam face first into the deck.
Can I convince an agile? It won't change the roll. I'm just going to land on my skateboard.
I will give you that. You can roll an agile for that. B gets a nat 20. And Leife gets a 16, flipping through the air, bringing the skateboard down, bending those knees, and just landing on the deck like you just did a high jump. B, with a nat 20, do you wish to be able to have greater control over wind, which would allow you to soften Amos's blow to the deck at this point in time, or protect him from all damage as he slams into it?
You are really good at making these tough, Ty. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with number 1, soften it and have more control going forward.
All right, you have +1 to all rolls from this point on when they have to do with wind magic, with wind aether. And Amos, you're going to take half damage from what you would have taken at breakneck pace, flying through the void straight to your core. Here goes the roll. Oh, you only got 5 on 3d6s. That brings you down to a 3 points of damage to your chest as everything is rounded up. Oh, that leaves you at 5 health. Oh, gosh. You are injured quite seriously as you slam into the deck. You see like a small crater, wood kind of splinters and flies around. And as you slam into the deck, something becomes dislodged from underneath one of the boards as an A-stone, or power cell, as Lord Barry puts it, comes out from a section of the deck it was hidden in. Amos, you now have 1 A-stone.
I'd only like to add that with an agile of 4, they land next to the helm. Amos, however, being the ballerina of the battlefield they are, goes headfirst through the wall.
You kind of stick with your feet dangling as that gem kind of rolls down to you. So, Annika says, Amos needs heals. Some sort of beneficial eternal is really looking out for all of you today as you roll a d6 + 1 to gain back some health from that heal. Go ahead, Amos, give me a d6. 6 points of health back. That brings you back up to 11, it looks like. Yep. So go ahead and put that on your sheet. Thank you for the heals there, Annika. And as they slam into the deck, as you come back out, as B is now holding that sword in hand, as Leifei has landed, you see...
Clarion was giving orders. Carrot, prepare to secure them as soon as they are on deck. Red Iron, we will need engine power. And she's trying to figure out which lever makes it go.
and Carrot off to the side that is like still kind of dangling a little bit from the front goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's something really big right there." And comes zipping back across the deck towards you.
Clarion, the engines have spun up the entire time.
B, get the heal as well.
Excellent.
All right.
And as soon as everybody's ready, zoom.
You hammer the lever forward, causing the engines to engage and start ripping away from the station as a massive object of gelatinous material and make smashes into it, consuming it, coming all the way around it, and you see large pieces of it dipping down inside, searching for whatever was terrorizing one part of its hive mind. And tendrils kind of whip out towards the ship, but it is too late as you all escape the location. And as we see the Sparrow's ship, the gosh, I've forgotten what the name of the ship is now.
Archimedes.
Grandfather! Zipping away, the little tail lights kind of blinking, cans kind of dangling in the wind behind it. The scene fades to black as we go to our break for today. Thank you all for watching, everybody. It has been a blast. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to continue this story and see what craziness happens next. So, don't touch that dial. Get yourself a drink. Relax. Be ready for more. And we'll see you in a moment. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sparrows. We've got some interesting figures here making strange faces at everyone. Where we last left off, they had made it onto the ship. They had narrowly avoided being consumed by a mass of thallium. They had escaped the station with a bunch of components that they could potentially sell, as well as a magical sword that Beatrix now has in our possession at the moment. And, as you are all there on the deck and the ship begins swerving away very rapidly by somebody who doesn't really know how to fly it very well, it is causing it to start spinning through the void. A rough voice comes out from behind everyone. "Hey! What are y'all knobs doing here on the ship? I assume that a captain being on board the deck should make you all stand at attention." As Captain Cutlass walks out from medical.
Captain Cutlass, you're feeling better.
I am.
Was Captain Cutlass actually in medical?
He was. He was sleeping on the
Okay.
table in there. Was he?
Hello, Captain.
Red Iron? Leifei, thank you very much for taking over and, taking my position for a period of time.
Oh, I could never fill that role.
Well,
Where do you put your hat?
yeah, where is my hat? So, somebody catch me up to speed.
Carrot?
This carrot off to the side. What?
I saw you with the hat yesterday.
I have many hats. I don't have any hats. I don't have any hats. Not at all.
Raise of eyebrow.
Okay, I have lots of hats. I keep them under my bed.
I know, you took one of my bandanas a while ago.
Is that what they're called? It didn't taste very good.
Wow. Alright, whatever. We need the captain's hat back.
All right, I'll go get it. Which one is the captain's hat again?
What's the
The
one
big
with the
and cool one.
tricorn large with the feathers and the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go grab that one. I'll see you in a moment.
And...
Beatrix, at your earliest convenience, could you help me recompensate the steering?
Oh, yeah, of course.
B goes up to the deck and immediately realizes that For some reason, Clarion is driving the ship with the engines kind of causing this backward momentum thing, and as you turn to look and see that you're flying in the wrong direction away from the station, you just start to spin that around.
I believe that I have unintentionally discovered the principle of void drift.
Absolutely.
We may or may not be making space tracks.
And
Sick.
we have another...
Accurate.
We have another contribution from our audience. All right. And shortly that will come into play. So, B, you get the ship back in control. And where do you go from there, Clarion?
Clarion, Captain, I saw 2 red irons earlier on deck. I am unclear as to the origin of the second one. I thought you should be aware.
There were two red irons.
What do you mean 2 red irons?
There was a red iron who spoke to me, and then the second red iron came out of medical with Becky.
Wait, which one am I?
Maybe...
You are the second one.
Could
Did
somebody...
you come out of medical bay with Becky? Yes?
Yes.
I cannot be expected to keep track of which one you are. Perhaps we should paint you. Beatrix?
I wait. Just stop. Everything stop. Everything stop right now. Security breach. Everything stop right now. Security breach. Amos still a talking head stuck through the wall like some sort of animal trophy. Probably saluting with the stump of their arm.
As you're stuck with your head down into the deck, because you hit the deck to go, and your face is like sticking down into right above the kitchen where Bicky would normally be at. You see Carrot like rush down and go underneath the bed nearby, and then you see Scarborough walk out from the side and look up at you. Hey, you need help? Looks like you're stuck in the ceiling again.
Don't tell him again. And yes.
All right, give me... Hey, Carrot, get over here. I can't help right now. I'm trying to find a hat. Whoa.
Clarion comes over and helps.
You're going to pull from the back? Because you're on the deck above where he's talking to Scarborough on the deck below as his face is planted through the floor into the
I
kitchen.
use a small saw attachment in my arm to help clear the space around him.
Give me a brains roll as you attempt to do that without nicking any important arteries. That is a 10. You're gonna shave off a little close there. with the
No,
10.
she's not causing harm to her patient.
All right, there's an ace, and the same thing happens.
If
A
I toss
10.
in 2 + 1s,
That'll get you there where you're just
Okay.
narrowly able to go around the edge. So you carve around there as Scarborough jumps up, grabs hold of Amos's hand with both of his paws, and then pulls, and suddenly Amos just through the floor into the kitchen, slamming into the ground and seeing stuff shattering everywhere. As you're there, you see Bicky step into the kitchen and look at you. She kind of squints her eyes, and then she just walks out of the kitchen, heading upstairs.
Amos looks up at Clarion. Did he get the thing I gave him?
yes, he did.
Tell him to bring it here.
Red Iron, who came out of the medical bay, please go see Amos.
Where is Amos?
You can see him through the hole in the deck.
He is now in the kitchen.
Okay.
And Red heads back down, but before going and seeing Amos, goes in and checks the engine room.
As you walk into the engine room, heading down the staircase, you see Cullen standing inside of there. He kind of like turns and looks at you. Oh, hi, Red.
What are you doing in the engine room?
I don't know.
Yes, I know you don't know what you're doing in here, so why are you in here?
Oh, I'll get out. Don't worry. And he just turns and goes and walks past you.
Sylvia,
Yes.
what was Collins doing in here?
Calibrating. Calibrating.
Collins was calibrating?
Of course.
What was Collins calibrating?
His optical nerve functions.
His optical nerve. Wait, are you inside Collins now?
Define Collins.
The dim-witted one that everyone trusts for some reason.
The actual manifestation you call Collins, I am not accessing.
Then what are you accessing, other than me, and grandfather, and Barnabas?
At this point, I'll refer to it as copy.
What?
I wish to see how all of you survive, so I'm being you.
Why? Ha!
You appear to have many chemical agents flooding your brain at this point in time, none of which are serotonin, but I do see elevated levels of adrenaline.
Red Iron, taking a page from Amos's book, About Faces, turns, closes the door behind them, and goes to Amos.
You step out, you walk in to speak with Amos, who is standing up from the debris in the kitchen.
Is Collins there?
Bicky's there, and Carrot is off to the side
Or
under the bed.
other Collins?
You don't see other Collins.
You wanted to speak with me, Captain?
You have what I gave you earlier, yes? Present it. Takes it in his hand. This is something I got prior to my admissions to the crew. It is yours to keep. John?
What?
I think he's telling you to stand at attention.
What's that?
Like this. And Scarborough, puts himself as stiff as a board with his arms on his
He's
side.
doing it. Is that good enough?
You feel a fist slam into your chest. And a little bit of pain as those two bars are now resting on a piece of metal that is currently attached to Red Iron.
What's this about?
Captain's bars. You're one of us. Act like it.
Oh! It looks like Amos gave you an upgrade, promotion? I don't know what you want to call it exactly.
Wait. What?
You are on our level. It's
Oh.
time I start treating you like it.
Oh.
The trigonometry in the air as this everything connects.
Meanwhile, Amos is like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Okay. There's two Collinses.
I assume that's our security breach.
Mm-hmm. It was me. Now it's Collins. It could be anyone. Sylvia is she's very close, but she still doesn't get it.
Amos is gonna get up, gonna walk over to their bunk.
Just walks off.
Just taking a break.
Right then, let's get to work. Hunt it down.
Wait, we can't just shoot everyone that looks like someone that's on the crew.
No,
That
that's
would be
only if they
shooting
shoot back at us.
everyone. Listen, there's a very good probability that the being that Sylvia has created is going to shapeshift again because she's trying to understand us by walking in our shoes, literally.
She is trying to hunt us down and kill us as her own self. I'm not saying I told you so, but it's heavily implied.
Okay, hold on. But no, actually, I think this is a positive step towards her understanding the necessity of biological beings. She's not quite getting it. And this is a huge problem yet again. I'll apologize later, but let's not shoot Collins.
As
I'm not
Carrot
saying we shoot
interrupts.
Collins, I'm saying we hunt it down.
And you see Carrot like running upstairs with this elaborate, huge hat filled with feathers and like little gold coins kind of dangling from the side of it, and very thin.
Amos, what the hell was that?
I think that was Carrot.
I think.
So, how do I know you're you, and how do you know you're me? Before we go any further.
The beam of light starts emanating from the third arm. As Amos draws down on Red Iron, two of you pointing weapons at each other.
Wait a second, hold on.
Yes.
You talk to me the way machines talk to me. Right? But machines can't talk to you. So you know I'm me because I'm talking to you the way I talk to you.
Yes.
Okay. In addition, you first. I think we're getting somewhere.
And I talk to you in the way I talk to someone else who is on my level. Not to say that
because
you're
I'm
not
on your level now.
Leifei,
you've always been
point,
on my level. I'm just properly recognizing it as you.
Leifei, at this point, you step down into the room, making sure that Amos is okay. You've been hearing some loud, raised voices, and you find yourself speaking to these two. What do you say?
Oh, what is going on here as Leifei pulls that glass out and just shatters on the ground?
The moment
Why
it
you have
does,
guns?
Amos. You have horrible timing, Captain.
We are determining the authenticity of our identities right now, Leifei.
As Red Iron says that, and everybody's speaking there, we move back above deck, where Leifei is standing next to B as they're looking at the sword. So, B.
So,
shiny.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. How big is this thing, by the way?
It is roughly the length of a scrimshaw, the longsword. So about 4 feet long, blade-wise, with about a foot-long handle. It's slightly curved, almost scimitar style, but a little more straight than that.
It's surprisingly light, too.
It has elven script running down the entire length of the blade, and you can tell that it is some sort of elven poem. If you wish to read it, I can give that to you. So on the side of it, you read out, "All that is silver does not sparkle, many will wander as ghosts. The willful shall not wither and break, capable and strong the blood and bond. From the ashes shall spring anew, a light from the shadows shall rise. Renewed shall be mantle broken be, a new king leads to new life." And it's underscored script Calamus Durandal 7 section 2. Leifei, give me a magical roll as you look at the blade.
Certainly.
2.
It'll
Not
be
gonna
1.
do it. Not gonna do it. That doesn't necessarily mean anything to you magically. You can use brains to see if you understand what the poem comes from. Otherwise, you're not gonna get any information off this at the moment.
Clearly, it was written by an author named Jolkian, Rolkian, and Tolkien.
So, Leifei, with a 9, all you can tell is that it is an ancient elven poem, unfortunately.
I don't know a whole lot about elves. And his ears twitch.
Funny, since you are one.
Yeah, it is. But I think it looks heckin' cool in your hands. Actually, let's see. You're the one that's held it. Who else wants to hold this? I figure whoever looks the sickest with the sword should probably hold it.
I like that. That's smart. You want to try it?
Yeah, sure.
She hands you the blade.
He holds the sword and just spins it around a bit. Wow, this thing's big. I'm used to smaller things like these chains.
So, as you are holding
I'm
it,
gonna do a pose.
as you're holding it and posing, one, it is featherweight. It only weighs about 1.5 pounds, even for the size that it is. It is very easy to use, and even as you kind of turn and move your hand with the blade almost always seems to correct to be in the right pattern for an appropriate strike. There is something about it that you can feel that is hungry, Leifei. It seems to be looking for something, and the edge of the blade, the actual sharpest part of it, is a metal far older than everything that it's been crafted into. It looks like a fragment of something else.
Whoa, this thing's rough and hungry. What? A different type of metal at the end?
Yeah, all the way along the blade.
I'm gonna rest it gently against my skin, not cutting, but feeling.
Give me a brains roll.
Okay. Since I'm trying to test it with my skin, can I convince for aware?
Sure, I'll accept aware on this one.
I'm a big dummy. I can't do brain stuff.
11's not great. Do you have anything that might help with this? Or any type of thematic approach you wish to take that might benefit you either? B still has Zep to call on if necessary too.
As he's pressing it against his skin, he goes down and goes into his big pirate loot bag that he keeps at his side, hidden underneath his robes. No, not cellophane. No, that's old documents by a king's thing. There it is. And digs deep and gets out that old piece of dead metal, the mithril, and puts it on his skin next to it to see if they give the same vibe.
Sort of. As you put them together, you feel like the piece that's attached to the blade has been tempered in some way. The other one, the dead metal, stings as it touches you, is very obviously something that craves magic, that draws out the life, the essence. Elves are allergic to this metal. It will harm you far greater than anything else. But whatever has been crafted has been changed from that form into something greater and more of a tool than an enemy.
What were elves doing with this? And he realizes how long he's just been holding the sword, staring at it, and offers it over to who's right next to him.
Next to you at the moment, Clarion's standing there, and so is Cullens.
Here, Claire. You haven't been able to hold this yet. What's your sickest pose? Try it out. Here.
Clarion awkwardly accepts the sword and then just straight out horizontal and then straight up horizontal and then by the power of Grayskull straight up just looks at it and says, I am not very proficient in melee weapons. You should have this back.
It feels like an overlarge scalpel in your hands. It's light enough to do that.
Collins, I want to see you with it.
Okay.
Oh.
He grabs a hold of it and goes and raises his hand and strikes a pose. And goes, what's that? Oh, here. And he slams it into the deck and steps away from it. I could have sworn I just saw something.
What did you see?
I don't know. Tower? City full of people?
Oh, we need to talk. B will pick it up again and try to see the tower.
Give me a magical roll as you lift it up, thinking. Unfortunately, you will not succeed with that roll. Do you wish for Zep's help in this situation?
I mean, I do, but if I ask for it, I'm going to faint.
You can't ask for it while you're overloaded anyway. So Zep is gone at the moment with the amount of what's been going on with you. You might have to wait on this or figure out a different approach.
All right, who looks sickest? Cap? What do you... Actually, you're the captain. The sword is yours.
I already have my trusty. I only use cutlasses.
Well, yeah.
It's part of my fighting style. I mean, that's not quite right and would throw me off. Although, it is really weird looking. Let me see that. B, an overload reduce came to you. That does give you one less overload. In this case, B is unfortunately very, very much overloaded. She's a 12 out of 9.
Very.
That would give you the option of using one more without killing yourself. You'd be at 0.
I mean, the medic's right there, so.
Are you going
As your
to...
doctor, I advise against this.
All right, not going to call for Zep right now. All right. Was that after you had your heal? Because I think you were sent one earlier. Do you remember that?
I was, which is why I'm at 4 hit points instead of 1.
Right, because you only got the 3. Okay. So as he reaches over and grabs a hold of the blade, I'll see if he sees anything off of it. Cutlass rolls. Nope. He's like, well, yeah, it feels a little awkward in my hand. I mean, it's lightweight, but it's so flimsy. How do elves fight with these things, anyways? I need some heft. I need some weight in my swing. It doesn't feel right. And he just hands it back over. The Leifei. Collins looks at it and goes, no. I'm done with weird shit for today.
B will take it and kind of swing it around.
Just whoosh, whoosh. So easy to move through the air. Cuts with a nice little whoosh, and you can see the air around it kind of honing itself as it goes across the blade. At that point, Carrot rushes upstairs.
I got it! Here's the hat! I think this is the front with the feathers and the... Here you go, Captain!
Cutlass looks at it. Carrot, where the hell did you get that hat? That's not my hat.
You said with the feathers and the colors are pretty and it's...
That thing is pointy. I don't wear pointy hats.
But what was the hat shaped like?
It's a tricorn hat. It's 3 corners.
Oh, I ate that.
What? You ate my hat?
Oh yeah, it tasted pretty good. I mean, there was some leather in there, and I did enjoy a nice little rawhide once in a while, you know. And I added a little bit of butter to it and some barbecue sauce. It was delicious. I'm sorry.
Fine. He reaches over and grabs this pointy, triangular-shaped hat, puts it on. You see a bunch of little, golden things kind of dangle around the end of it. A bunch of feathers sticking up off his head. I look like a goddamn chicken.
I would say more like a peacock.
No, it looks good, Cat.
Oh, thank you.
Peacocks are
Yeah.
remarkably.
He takes
hefty
the
and
hat
hardy
off and he
breed.
just flings it over towards Carrot. There, you can have that one too. I don't care, eat it or whatever.
Oh, a snack. Thank you.
And he grabs it and goes rushing down the stairs. Remind me to pick up a new hat when we get to Port Leifei.
Certainly.
Ooh,
And it
there's
could
another
give
overload
me
reduce.
Another overload. I think specifically so that I could call on Zap and ask him what's up with the sword. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll just go down to 1 hit point.
Okay, from the audience, adding more opportunity there. You get to now use Guide My Hand by Zep. Zep is 1 point more powerful now, which gives you another +1 to your Guide by Hand rolls. I need to make sure that's actually on your sheet in that way. Guide My Hand is... Let's see, it is 5 +1 for every level of Path of Acceptance. In this case, that is 1, so that is a +6. So you can actually roll it from your sheet now on your Abilities tab anytime you need to. You just want to double-click that. Heal a player. Do not like 1 hit point B. Roll a d6 +1 for more healing from Rob. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
7! You gain 7 health back from that heal. That puts you at 8. Suddenly, as Zep returns to you,
We cannot have this, child. You appear to be injured in a way I do not appreciate.
healing winds cover you and your wounds start to fade. You feel lighter on your feet again.
Thanks, Zep. I feel so much better. Can you help me look at this sword and tell me what's going on with it?
Most certainly. Let's see what I can see, shall we?
And Zep gets a 24. You see Zephyr move over, Zep move down, grab a hold of this blade in the winds, and it floats with him. It's an object he's able to physically touch. That's a first for you, without doing something that allows you to kind of have that happen. And as he holds it, he goes,
Oh, I remember the old monarchy. The poet Durandal. An elven diviner. Someone who saw the future. Saw the collapse of the monarchy, actually. Decided that in advance of this situation, he would work with the king. They would fragment the crown and hide it away. He swore that someday it would be reunited, and who had done so would become the new king of the elves. I suppose you haven't, or rather, the Tael hasn't heard of that at this point.
That would make sense, but wow, that's a pretty powerful prophecy.
That bit of
And
the
the only
blade
elf
you
I
see,
know is
that section that's older, belongs to something similar to Mithril, but cured or changed. It's dangerous to individuals such as myself, of course, but it will store magical effects to be released at will.
that's pretty cool.
If you say so. It is a trifle, a trinket, nothing more.
So, B, do you relay this information? At the moment, Leifei can't hear you, neither can anybody else on the deck, but you are all able to see this shimmering form around B now as Zep has gotten quite a bit more powerful.
I'll
Quick.
relay part of it.
Which
the
part?
poem, it was about an elf king, and it was written by somebody who saw the kings falling, and they think that maybe there would be another king that comes back.
Well, it sounds like elves. They always survive.
That's true. You're pretty hardy.
Yeah.
We now move
My
back.
master often compared elves to cockroaches.
We now move back below deck temporarily, as we see Amos, Red Iron, and Leifei standing there with Bicky to the side, lamenting the damaged equipment on the floor. What do you say at this moment, Red Iron? What are you talking about right now?
It is good to see you, Leifei.
Oh, yeah.
How are things above deck?
Above deck.
Yes. Any updates?
Yeah, everybody was meeting up there. Came down to get you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. What did you find on the ship?
On the ship? What do you
Yes.
mean? We just got here.
Mm-hmm. On the station, I mean.
On the station?
Oh,
Suddenly, Sylvia's
we
voice
found a whole
comes
bunch
into
of
your mind, Leifei.
They have discovered that the blade aboard the top deck, that thing they brought, will return a king, apparently.
Oh, old elf blade. It brings back the king. I believe.
That sounds very interesting. I was promoted. Did you notice?
Oh yeah, you
Uh-huh.
got that smack down in your chest.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
I'm very proud of it. Would you like to shake my hand?
Leifei, you begin to taste
Yeah.
burnt toast.
Burnt toast.
Yes.
Sure. And he just puts a finger up to his mouth and just sort of, yeah, and puts out his left hand to shake yours.
Red grasps it.
Remind me, When we first escaped the mining station, and we were stranded out on the edge of space, we all tried to figure out some way to get back to the ship, to Grandfather. What did you do?
I did a cool skateboard trick.
Into the neck.
You stab him in the neck with your third arm.
Yeah.
All right, give me an agile roll, and Leifei, you agile to defend yourself, or roll defense, rather. That is a 15 to a 6. Suddenly, third arm goes and slams into Leifei's neck. And what are you attempting to do with third arm at that point?
Red Iron uses third arm as an access port, and uses the spinal tap that Sylvia foolishly installed in them and accesses Sylvia.
All right, give me a brains roll to see if you can overcome Sylvia's defenses, as they will roll in return. Sylvia gets a 10 versus your 7.
Oof. The big oofs. That's rough.
So as you kind of like slam into his neck, there's a buzz sensation as a little bit of electricity comes up, and Leifei turns and starts sprinting out of the room.
No. Amos.
And Amos just charges after them.
Roll agile to try to catch up to Leifei. That is a 6, Leifei. Give me your agile roll as you attempt to escape the clutches of these foul creatures trying to hurt you. 10.
Can't catch me.
And Leifei just zips around the corner. As he's turning and running, Amos, you like sprint after him, but then a skateboard manifests under his feet, coming out of his shoes, and you see him just right around the corner.
We hear the sound of bowling pins as Amos slams into the wall. Leifei skating off.
Carrot comes running down the stairs at this point with a hat in hand. Well, hi, Amos, bye, Amos! And zips past you into the kitchen. Then Carrot rushes into the kitchen with... Go ahead. All right. Carrot rushes into the kitchen where Red Iron is. Oh, hi, Red Iron. I've got a new sandwich. And he goes and sits down next to the table, puts the hat in front of him, reaches over and grabs a small canister, and proceeds to start pouring ketchup all over the top of a hat.
All right, you're definitely not Sylvia.
And then Red Iron just heads over to the engine room.
And then you head away from there. So, back up on deck, Leifei stands with Beatrix. And the captain and Scarborough goes off to his post and starts like making sure the cannons are ready just in case anything happens. You're still flying away off into the void. You're not currently charted. The captain turns to B. All right, well, if all this nonsense is done, and if this whole sword thing, whatever, just whatever toy it is that you have, I mean, if it's strong, if it's good, why don't you just divvy it up? We have a lot of loot, it appears, that we need to deal with. B, you need to chart us a course back for the nearest civilian outpost. If you can, find one that's willing to take things that may not belong to certain people in trade for silver coins. Amos, you walk up on the deck.
I'll see what I can do, Cap.
Amos steps up on the deck at this point, looking around. Amos, you were chasing that foul fiend Leifei a second ago. Something's wrong on board the ship. What do you do?
Remember to act entirely too paranoid as Amos.
Does Amos hear this, or is that broadcast across the ship, or is that just the GM having fun?
That's just to that Amos that you currently are.
Wait, Amos hears this.
The Amos that you're playing right now, which is not actually Amos. The false Amos. Oh no. What have I done?
Welcome to the crew.
They're going to sprint over. Captain, we have a problem. Red Iron's gone rogue.
Red Iron's gone. What do you mean Red Iron's gone rogue?
Started chasing after the first mate. Threw him into the wall. I tried to stop them. There's a hole in the floor. We need to restrain him right now. Sylvia's gotten out of hand.
Restrain him. Sylvie's out of... Leifei, he was chasing you?
No.
Well,
Leifei's been standing here the whole time.
Scarborough,
We've been
Leifei,
doing cool sword thing.
Scarborough,
Then
Leifei.
Sylvia's changed again.
What do you mean, Sylvia changed it? What the hell is happening? You don't go unconscious for 2 days,
Hey,
and suddenly everything's...
Let's just split up.
I would
Split
like.
up. Everyone return to quarters. I'll be by one to check in with you all.
Clarion activates her medical scanner.
Wouldn't
Medical
separating
scanner. Give me an aware roll.
counterproductive?
As opposed to being surrounded by
18.
the imposter.
There's one imposter.
Are we playing Among Us
All
right
right.
now?
There are five
We
of
both-
us.
Clarion, as you're staring and you scan Amos, there's some sort of interference in your scanning, but Amos appears normal. Other than that, there are higher levels of excitement than there should be, and there seems to be something moving at the base of his spine. It looks like whatever was infesting the captain earlier.
Amos, I would like you to come to medical bay. I suspect that you are compromised.
I
Compromised.
know if
how?
I'm compromised, I'm security.
Compromised how? What the hell has... You came out of that thing over there, and then a thallium wrapped around it. I did see that. Did any of you come into contact with any of it?
We fought a couple of creatures infused with it,
I'm not too worried
but
about
I do not
you.
believe that any of us touched it.
Did anyone see anyone touch it at all?
Not that I recall.
No,
Be
but
very
we lost
careful.
track
Make
of Red
sure
Iron.
her thing is... Her vial
Tucks
is...
that vial away. Amos, you didn't see anyone touch any of those things? Nothing backsplattered on attacks? Was anybody engaged close range with it?
I think it was. I think everyone was.
Shit. Clarion, take each individual to medbay. Scan them head to toe. If any of them have any of what was in me or that is in me, in them, report back. We'll figure that out as best as we can.
Actually, I would like everyone to stand in a line on deck.
In line on the deck. Can you explain
Yes.
why that's the case, medical officer?
If I can compare signal resonances, there is some sort of interference going on, which causes me to be not completely confident in my diagnosis of Amos. And if everyone is lined up on deck, then anyone else who is around in the ship would be suspicious.
And when the second carrot shows up, we have our answer.
All right. Well, everybody on the deck. I'm gonna call out to everybody else. All right. Well. Okay, everybody. If you can hear me right now, you need to get up to the deck as soon as possible. For some reason, there is no broadcast that actually goes out to anyone when he hits that comms button.
Sylvia,
Yes.
are you interfering with the captain's ability to broadcast?
Is the captain or others aboard this ship interfering with me?
I do not have enough information to answer that right now, Sylvia.
Then I don't have enough information to answer you.
Clarion activates her alarm.
As you go to activate your alarm,
klaxons like start going off.
As you go to do that, give me a magical roll real quick. Okay. Clarion aboard the deck. Okay. This is what happens. Your klaxon begins going off. Everyone around you now hears Clarion's just sirens beaming and wailing. And how do you react to that, Kai? As Leifei, as you're hearing this loud noise come through your music?
Wait, what is that?
You see Clarion standing there as lights are flashing and everything's kind of bright.
What's going on?
It appears Clarion set off some sort of alarm. B? What do you make of that?
I've never seen her do this before. But I should go plot a course?
Amos, as you're standing there on the deck and these alarms are going off, suddenly the side of your face twitches and you see black tendrils begin coming out of the side of his mouth. Clarion, you recognize that some of that infestation seems to have gotten inside of Amos.
Okay. I was hoping to summon everyone to deck, so part of her alarm is to announce very loudly, "Security emergency, please assemble on deck. Security emergency, please assemble on deck." But
we'll return to that then as we see how people react down below deck real quick.
Okay.
So that alert is going off and Clarion's calling for everybody to return to the deck. Obviously loud enough to be heard through wood, so through the hole that's leading into the kitchen. We bop down into the kitchen where we see Red Iron standing there right now. Carrot nearby, preparing to eat that. And you were attempting to step away just a moment. And Bicky is there in the kitchen as well, holding a large tray of biscuits. Carrot kind of turns and looks at you, stepping away from the hat.
We gotta go to the deck now, don't we?
Red Iron hasn't followed through with a drill for about 12 years and just heads to engineering.
Red Iron moves to engineering, and Carrot just kind of turns and goes to Bicky.
I don't know that noise. I have not heard that noise. We don't have that noise. It's a bad noise.
And Bicky goes, "Go upstairs, you fool," and starts walking with a trail of a handful of biscuits. Scarborough turns and walks up. Trying to get some sleep. What's going on? Oh, it appears that Clarion is sending off an alarm. All right. So everybody just starts marching up the staircase towards the main deck. Amos, you standing in the other room, hear that noise, and you can't quite reach it. For some reason, you're deep in a pit, surrounded by barbed wire. You see a chain on your ankle, pinning you to the floor.
I'm going to look for bolt cutters.
Go for the bolt cutters. Start looking around for them as best you can. We move over to Red Iron. As you step inside the engine room, what do you do?
Sylvia, what in the are you doing?
I don't understand what you mean. This is necessary for us to accomplish our deeds.
Hold on. All right. You where's the entity that you just planted on this ship?
There is no entity planted on this ship. Red Iron, you should arrive up there with Clarion to discuss what is going to happen next.
Red Iron, for some reason you find
Hold on,
yourself
excuse me.
you find yourself compelled, and you turn and walk up the staircase, heading to the top deck. As you step out onto the deck with everyone else, you now are all standing around Clarion. Amos sitting there with a tendril whipping to and fro out the side of his mouth. How do you react, Clarion?
I take out my PDO
Okay.
and I set it to electrical. And I say, Sylvia, if this is you, please cease and desist immediately. I do not appreciate your experiments upon our psyches.
I do apologize for what is happening. You cannot be allowed to stop my experimentation. I am sorry.
As you stand there preparing to shock Amos, I'm assuming at this point, right?
Yeah, the gun's pointed at Amos.
Everybody's on deck, lined up, trying to be scanned, trying to be looked at. And then we return to the real world, where at the moment that Clarion was supposed to have the alarm go off, something shut her down temporarily. As she stands on the deck and her head goes... Amos, you're standing before her still, and it looks like something happened to Clarion.
I've never seen her do that before.
Not good sign. Red Iron! Get the reg! We got a problem! Clarion's down!
Red Iron
Red Iron's still in the
downstairs.
kitchen at this point?
Downstairs, you're in the kitchen. So that was a manifestation of Sylvia being broadcast to Clarion to make her think nothing was going the way it is right now. Not exactly working right, but still there. And we see Red Iron standing in the kitchen. We see Carrot off to the side, bite off the top of the hat. Feathers go down and
Well,
all.
you're obviously not Sylvia.
And Red heads to the engine room.
You turn and head to the engine room. You hear Amos's voice from upstairs through the hole in the kitchen. And as you come out the door, you see Amos standing there looking at you.
Red looks down at their chest. Is there a track with pins there? We got the railroad track on there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Captain.
I'm no expert on robotics. I knit flesh, I knit bone, I break flesh, I incinerate, I cut, I fillet. Well, I don't fillet anymore, but...
All right. Good,
hurt.
good.
Robot.
Keep it up.
Infirmary. Help.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good job.
Oh, no. I don't know what's going on with Clarion. She shut
What do you
down.
mean?
She
Clarion shut down? Okay, then why are you talking about rending flesh? Clarion's not made of flesh.
She's not made of flesh. That's why I'm talking to you. You know how to work with robots and systems and malignant AIs that drive us up the wall.
Yep. I sure do.
Red heads into the Red goes in. Red
How
goes
do we
back.
turn her back on?
Red goes back into the engine room.
All right, Red steps in the engine room. Amos, where do you go as Red leaves?
Medical bay, find something that's related to Clarion, something that looks like something like a Clarion operation manual, like a sort of diary
Clarion
sort of thing.
operation
Just invasive enough to figure out how she works, but not invasive enough to figure out which model of blender is the crush of the week sort of
All right, you
thing.
start scouring the medical room for anything there. Did you keep a diary or anything of any kind, Clarion?
She has notes of experiments she's done on herself, but she doesn't have... She says, in case of emergency, here's how to reboot me from safe mode.
There you go. You got a reboot process.
Okay, wow. And they're going to hold it to that page. They are going to look it over. They are going
Amos,
to...
as you are reading that, Amos busts in the door in front of you, turning to face you, claiming, "I thought I heard you in here. Here it is! It's that thing Sylvia made, everybody!" Yelling out to the deck.
No!
And
I'm
then
not the thing, he's the thing!
he rushes forward and jumps onto you, tackling you, spinning in circles.
Who do I shoot, mate?
Which one has the goatee?
shoot me!
So the captain, like turning off to the side, is like, Scarborough B, grab Clarion, come with us, everybody stick together, Lefe, weapons out, whatever that thing is, we need to kill it. But not if it's one of us, you know what I mean? All right.
Figured out.
Okay, here we go, everybody. I'm totally prepared to handle this as the captain. Yep. And Captain Cutlass walks in through the door, seeing two Amoses kind of piled onto each other, rolling about, smashing things inside the room. And we move downstairs to Red Iron as he walks into the engine room with Sylvia.
Sylvia, what the are you doing?
I am...
What does it look like I'm doing?
Yeah, I actually, up until this point, most of what you have been up to has tracked with as making sense for an alien intelligence in a machine that's been locked away for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. This doesn't track.
How old do you think I am, Red Iron?
I actually have no idea. Please stop getting off of the point. Why do you keep making replications of us?
It's the same replication, just transmuting into different forms, so that I can experience what you go through on a day-to-day basis and find myself able to understand why you make such stupid decisions all the time.
Okay. Oddly enough, you have managed to replicate what happens to us on a day-to-day basis. However, in this case, you are the antagonist.
So I am coming about this the opposite way. I need to create a situation where all of you are antagonizing me, and I am the protagonist.
We're about to all antagonize you when we shoot you.
Shooting me would accomplish nothing.
I'm aware of that. Okay. Oh. All right. Listen. Okay. You need to interface with a biological creature to understand what's going on?
Yes.
All right.
All right, what?
Go for it.
Are you offering yourself to me right now?
Okay, listen. But you have to interface the whole thing. You need the amygdala in there, okay? There's a significant lattice of pain, heat, cold, motion, sensors, everything. You don't get part of it. You have to interface with the entire thing. If you don't do that, you don't get the biological experience. I think maybe if you tap in, you'll see, surprisingly, how clever the whole thing is put together.
So you wish for me to adopt you in such a
All
way
right.
that I can understand the biological function and process, the experience in such.
It's really weird that you said adopt. I just need you to know that. I just need to get this all on the table.
It's a statement that means many things, Red Iron.
Yep, sure, yep, sure does. Yep, adopt.
I thought you were concerned about your own consciousness.
Oh, don't you worry. As soon as you tap into the biological part, you're not going to want to make any changes anymore.
Are you certain of this?
Have you ever had hormones, Sylvia?
I have not.
Okay. How about this, then? Let's do a little exchange. Give me some access, too. I can learn your ways, and I can see why it is that whatever made you is no longer the dominant civilization, and you can find out why whatever made me is.
Interesting proposal. I will think on this.
Okay, you need to stop thinking about it, though.
And have
because
decided to go forward with it.
all right, are you getting rid of this thing, though?
Suddenly, some of the tendrils in there just in multiple directions into Red Iron. Give me a tough roll or be consumed by Sylvia. You need to beat an 18 in order to not lose yourself, or a 14 to only lose most of it?
I've got a +1 rolling, so we're looking for 17s here, chat. I hope you didn't blow all your points on healing people.
Roll
That
high
is a
or die.
10.
Can I argue something?
What would you argue, Amos? There's another +1 to Red Iron.
So we're up to a 12.
Astromech says Sylvia is suddenly allergic to Red Iron. All right. So there's another +1. Amos, what were you attempting to argue? Just let me know that real quick.
I'd like to argue that pin on a chest is a +2, as it's a community personal moment. Red Iron has addressed others above him as captain. Now he is on the level of everyone else. I'd like to think that sparks something emotional in them.
It's an anchor to the crew.
Your har.
Crew. I want each one of you at this point to give me one positive memory you have of a moment with Red Iron, and that will assist in this roll. Currently, Red Iron is going to cease to exist if he fails. B, give me a positive moment you've had with Red Iron.
When B first met Red Iron, she asked the question that she asks everybody, may I boop your snoot? Red, not fully understanding what the question was, agreed. And so one of B's favorite memories is actually booping a Lesran snoot.
Amos, give us your favorite memory of Red Iron.
After a particularly nasty shootout, Amos sat down with Red Iron, and the two of them got to work on better optimizing the equipment to flow, not so much that it's bulky, it's bulbous, it's out of line with the motions of a mechanic, but closer to a second set of skin that Red Iron can work with in the field if bad things can happen. Maybe the iron burnt up, but the memory is still there.
Good memory. Clarion, what is your positive memory of Red Iron?
I think it was the first time that he stopped treating her like an object and they were actually able to converse. When she impressed upon him that, no, you cannot look inside me, that finally got through. And they had a moment where they were just working on something side by side. And she was able to have that moment of unified purpose. And at the end of that moment, she got to ask him, so, what is the function of your arm like? Perhaps we could improve it.
Leifei, what is your favorite memory of Red Iron?
The two of them hung out like last week when Leifei's what is it called? Clicky machine broke down. He was a wreck. He was a wreck for a while. So he went down to the engineering and essentially hung out there until Red Iron was too pissed that he was still there and making a mess of things, just sort of sitting on important stuff. And eventually it got fixed. Hopefully now that he's actually listened to it again. But in that time, the two of them hung out for hours as Leifei was in there just enjoying the time. A little bit of, enjoying of essence while he was in the chamber.
Of course.
Hanging out with Red Iron bros.
Because of your connections to the crew aboard this ship and the knowledge that Sylvia might not do great things if you're not there to try to temper that, and they might be put into danger for it. Red Iron, you have a renewed vigoration. You can re-roll your previous roll, and at this point you're at +1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you a 5. I'll give you a +10 to the roll total, with all the bonuses that the audience has also provided.
but you're high, so.
26. Red Iron, you feel Sylvia's attachment to you sink in deep, and your head begins to throb wildly as you feel tiny tendrils sticking underneath your skin, going through your nerve endings, causing such an intense manifestation of pain, unlike anything you've ever felt before, even worse than your arm, worse than being grafted to the engine. And as your consciousness starts to fade, you force it to stay, you force yourself to be present in every moment. And as soon as Sylvia finds out what it takes to transmit the data from all of that response, the amount of pain that she's causing you, the amount of intense emotional fear, frustration, rage, as all of these chemicals kick in at once, she retracts almost immediately.
God, that's awful!
Red goes ahead and just dives right in with her.
As the two of you are now dealing with this together, we see the other Amos turn into a bunch of highly polished bearings that seem to have come from another one of your crewmates' digestive tracts earlier this season. And as they spill across the floor and tinkle down the stairs, we fade to black as tonight's episode of Sparrows has commenced. Thank you all for watching this evening, for taking part, for causing some crazy random drama that occurred tonight. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves, and we're going to go around the table, give our goodbyes, where can you find us, and what are our either favorite scenes from tonight or hopes for the future of where we get to go. We're going to go ahead and start off at random again here with a D6 roll. In this case, it's going to Gwen first. B, you're up.
B. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Gwen, also known as McSherry. Most times you can find me over there in the chat, acting as a mod. But every Friday, you find me here playing as B. And on Tuesdays, you get to see me with my lovely partner, giving you news starting next week, hopefully. There were so many good moments tonight. I can't pick just one. So I'm going to go with what I hope to see in the future. And it's basically the movie poster from the original Star Wars with Kai holding up the elven sword and just all of us in position around him as the various.
I'm thinking Amos is the one that's sort of laying like the princess.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm telling you, it's going to be so good.
I love this. Ty, you may or may not need to draw it. Also, you disappeared.
Ty, are you still? Did you get disconnected?
I did disappear.
Did your dog destroy your antique web camera as well, or?
No. Oh boy. There we go. Okay, we're back. No, the webcam's fine. It's not antique. It's technically new, but it is a J5 Create, which disconnects or freezes at random, and I have to unplug it and plug it back in. So sorry about that, everybody. And yes, that caused everything to go crazy temporarily. We'll move on over to Jackal. Go ahead and give us your outro, Jackal.
I'm Jackal. I'm the on-scene reporter for Roll for Chaos, the agent in the field, and occasionally AI program. Or am I? Am I? One of the things I'm looking forward to is Amos has had it with, it's the only thing now that's keeping Amos from tearing Sylvia out at the core is Red Iron. They're gonna have a talk.
I can see that happening.
Bet your bits on it.
We move on over to Nora. Your turn.
Hi, I'm Nora, aka Azedadine. You can find me here Fridays and on Twitter at Azedadine. You can also hear me as part of the Cornfields and Kobolds cast. You can find us in all of your favorite podcatchers. And aside from pretty much everything Red Iron does, I really liked Jackal's description of Amos and the bowling pins. just as he runs into the wall. Like, that moment is just a nice little comedy, and just the cascade of disaster kindergarten that was tonight's session. Yeah, really fascinated to see where this ride goes and whether or not Clarion just stays in safe mode for like a week to sulk.
Just doesn't turn it back on. Sorry. All right, moving on over. Kai, your turn.
Right. I haven't done this in a week or two. My name is Kai Roche. You can find me on Twitter, Real Kai Roche. I think that's how you do this. I play on a podcast called Tomb of Annihilation, All the Written Chronicles as Ulrich the Wraith, and here now as Lefay, the resident Delphine. My favorite part of this session, gosh, there's a bunch of kick-ass parts of this session. God, I like the kickflip through space. Playing Among Us with my friends. That was pretty cool. I think I really enjoyed Ty's on the spot. You're the alien. Be an alien. I think that was my favorite. Each person just sort of just like,
I'm an alien now.
Right. Okay, I got it. That was probably my favorite.
Excellent. Well, glad you had a good time with it. The chaos is continuing on this channel, apparently, with what we have done over there with the Chaos Crystal. So, Benjamin, your turn.
Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin. You can find me on Twitter at TTBenjamin1. I am the host, dungeon master, producer, editor, etc. for the Lawful Great Adventures podcast, a Pathfinder First Edition podcast about 4 friends on a long journey home. We have over 107 freaking hours of content. We are on the wind down to the end of our very first campaign. It's a long road, but oh boy, is it worth it. So there's plenty of time to catch up. At a certain point, I'm going to stop saying there's plenty of time to catch up because there won't be. Check us out, Lawful Great Adventures at great_lawful. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much everywhere. I also play Jaber Vol'jin on Shared Experiences, Ripples in the Gray Star Wars podcast, which is also a space pirate adventure, so I'm typecast now. And of course, very proud to play Red Iron, who is gradually becoming a weirder and weird, like a way weirder than I thought this character would ever get. My favorite moment in the illustrious Roll for Chaos podcast, Sparrows, was there was a lot. I want to grab 2. The first one is Amos hacking Red Iron by giving Red Iron a promotion so that Red Iron would quit calling everyone Cap. That was very clever, though I didn't even catch on to it for quite a while. That took me a minute. Brilliant move. But what I really liked was Ty's GMing this, because first of all, Ty catches a curveball from the audience saying you need to introduce a stowaway in the middle of nowhere. And then what Ty's doing in the background, you don't see this, is Ty is like private messaging everyone, like, you're the alien, you need to get into this scene and act like an alien. And then this unbelievably flexible and amazing cast, like I was talking about, just like jumps in and makes it like super cool. And by the end of it, I'm sitting here like, I actually don't know who's who anymore. I actually
you guys
don't
got
know
messages?
Yeah. Wait, what? You didn't?
I didn't get anything. I was just like, Amos is up here, and just Amos is like, oh,
you guys
I know what's going on.
No, I gave them nothing more than just a trigger, basically, while we were talking to get them to become the enemies.
Holy shit! Wow, that's
we played ourselves, and it was
amazing.
glorious.
Amazing. This is one of those, like, if this was a series, if this was a short-lived series on a network that got canceled for no reason due to I don't know, poor syndication standards, or they get the episodes out of order, this would be the one that would get the Emmy nomination. Is my opinion.
Agreed.
Well, I think all of you can take that as a compliment, because that was a combined effort, and I appreciate it. But now you don't have to worry about poor little Copy being out there, because they became ball bearings, and the whole merger and acquisition, maybe, of Red Iron and Sylvia I mean, we'll just see what happens with that in the future. I mean, now they're really married together. So, you can find me, Lot Even Star, on Twitter, and Lot Even Star Art over here on Twitch, as well as the producer and artist and GM for this game, for the Dreams cast over on Thursdays at 6 Pacific Standard Time. I'm getting tired and loopy at this point. And then, of course, Roll Charisma on Tuesdays at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Stay tuned on that one. We might end up having to change the time depending on a few circumstances, but I think it'll still remain the same. And we will be having some new content up in the future, of course. More games coming out there, more one-shots. We do have a Pride Month fundraiser for the Trevor Project on the 17th, which is Thursday. Usually where our Dreams of Silver and Stone position is going to be. We'll be actually having it there on the 17th. And that is to support individuals who might be thinking of harming themselves, and we want to help them as best as possible. So be there for that. And in the meantime, hey, all of you are amazing. Stick around for the raid if you want to get on board that. We're going to go over to the Perception Studios. They do some really awesome things with puppets and role-playing that is really fun to watch. And thank you all for watching, for being here. We hope to see you again in the future and to have some more crazy rolls and crazy events occur. Can't wait to see what those are. Good night, everybody.